there's different stores, there's different lifestyle brands. It's fun.
There was a House of Almonds. I don't know if you saw that. Did you guys see that?
This mall was like none I've ever seen.
This was the one that jumped out right here. Her scent is
the
name of one of the stores.
I didn't
Percent.
Oh man, I used to go to that part of the mall all the time, just to remember my mom.
Oh my God, that's really touching.
They also just give these robots like things that they casually say
because she used to work in that section of the mall.
Oh. By the way, we are a mere 200 yards away from the exteriors of this mall. Yeah. So the Beverly Center is a mere few feet away from here, where they just quickly show you exteriors, as if the DP was in a car that couldn't stop. And they're like, shit, get it, you got it?
They shot this on a public bus.
Yeah. There was no way a permit was given for whatever footage they used to get the Beverly Center. And it's not the Beverly Center inside. It is the same mall from Commando. That's the one thing I do know.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's in the valley. But they casually say at the top of the movie, oh, and these robots also have lasers that can cut through debris. Which is like, well, all right. First of all, you got these doors. Then you got these robots that are going to knock people out. But what kind of debris do they, like, these are not army robots. Like,
yeah.
And then they also find out later they're equipped with C4? Like, what did they expect?
Go. These are like these are like robots that you would see in like dismantling bombs in the Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, we need those at the mall to protect House of Almonds.
But I also found them, like, when they were presented and their features were shown, they just had little plastic pincers that didn't look sharp and didn't even seem to do it. Like, they would launch it on a little string, but the string would look limp.
Yeah.
Also, yes, and the pace at which they moved was comical.
Yeah.
I mean, they just slowly glided.
Yeah, like I feel like they never probably moved more than like 8 miles an hour. Like,
and are so loud. And then there keep being instances where they sneak up on someone, which is frankly impossible because it is empty, devoid of sound, and just like. And they appear to, my favorite fucking part of this movie, this fucking mental movie, is that the robots are continuously looking to each other to check in on shit that's going on. Like, bro, are you getting this? Bro, he doesn't even know we're awake. Like, they keep, like, they're fucking robots. And they're having, like, subtle, like, weird relationships with each other.
And the weird thing about these robots are they only malfunction because, like something out of Frankenstein, lightning hits the highest point of the mall.
Yes, 3 times.
3 times.
3 lightning strikes in like 30 seconds.
And there's such terrifying lightning strikes too, like, and everyone's just walking to their cars. Like, no one seems to react to the bolts of lightning.
The mall.
And they're not attached to the thing that's getting hit. They just, I guess, that's like.
Well, I think they made a big point of like, oh, they're online. The idea being like whatever that was, that whatever they hit
in the control room,
they're always online.
The control room for the mall that looks like it belongs in like a nuclear facility. Like it's a control room from like the China syndrome.
Well, the other thing about this movie, I have a couple well, first I would say everybody in this movie is disgusting. Like there is something disgusting about every person. Like the chef.
Let's go person by person. Person by person. Let's pick them apart. Why are you disgusting, chef?
This is
The smoking chef?
With a
Chef
smoking
Why is he
chef,
a fork on his
which looked like something out of like you can't do that on television. Barf. Like the you know I'm gonna pull him up, but
There's so much setup. Yeah.
there's Barf, who wipes his spatula on his chest and then continues to make food.
I sadly...
By the way, he's at the front of the house too.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine walking
he's
into a
not
restaurant
back in the
and
kitchen.
seeing
Yeah.
that guy?
I sadly feel like I'm max 4 years away from playing this part. Like, I am like maybe 4 years away from playing this part. That's the world I'm living in, guys.
And then there's like there's like the guy who's taking over for the security guy.
Wait,
who's
before
like,
that, there's the restaurant patron.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he asks to eat a stick of butter.
Says more
Okay.
butter.
Honestly, I felt really disturbed by that moment.
Well, he
Because-
also, they say, is real handsy. The one
Right,
who
she's like, watch out.
Suze warns the other one, be careful, he's real handsy.
That's fine, but what I
That's
saw
fine.
in that, no, of course it's not fine.
June likes a
am
man
That's
who's
not my
shocked
point, though.
by that reveal.
What I saw in that moment of him saying another stick of butter or whatever the line was, I saw the actor having to say a line like that, and he looked so devastated. I wish we could watch it because he barely looks up, and it's not a choice, guys. It's not a choice.
It's a choice.
It's
a
not.
choice. He's not looking up because he's so enthralled by the meal.
No, it's not. He's like, here I am, playing this part.
Here I
was
am. I'm in a
cast as
movie.
this.
and this is what it comes to.
Yeah.
Even
devastating.
this piece of pizza is disgusting.
Yeah.
A piece of pizza falls on the floor, and it looks like it's more corn than pizza.
Yeah. And they also
Ew.
stage this in a way such that it's only because they can bend down to pick up the debris that they can have a private conversation. It's like they have to break stuff to be like, hey, are we getting out of here or what? Wait, what? You can't just talk to each other on the job?
The other thing, then there's a security guard who comes in. He's like, sorry I'm late. It was all you can eat downstairs. And then proceeds to pick up the guy's like half-eaten donuts.
My favorite of all of these people, janitor bullies.
Oh my God.
Janitor bullies. One janitor's like mopping up slop. Two other janitors come by and are like, fuck you, nerd. Oh, look at this fucking nerd mopping up, doing his job. You fucking nerd. It's like,
And
they
it
are all janitors. What's
And it-
happening right now?
and it seems
What
to
is the hierarchy of janitors?
It seems like they're making fun of him, like that, like they're all doing the same jobs. Like, you're gonna be here all night cleaning up this stuff, but it's like, yeah, like he's got.
That's our job.
That's the job.
That's our job. And the janitor bullies look like fucking nerds too. Like one of them, the mean one looks like Stephen Tobolowsky.
I was really hoping when the robot came around, I was like, well, he's not going to hurt him because he works at the mall.
Yeah.
And he's protecting people
And he
who
had
works
a
at the mall.
badge
And
that
I
he
thought,
showed
just
him.
show him the badge. Show him the badge.
And then he does show him the badge.
Here's
That's
the
the
thing,
thing.
though, Mary. I think the robots have gone fucking nuts from those lightning bolts.
Right.
I think
That's not in
day.
debate. That's not a debatable. They did. Then like there should be no thinking.
Well, I
like,
don't know. I don't know.
I'll tell you what else is disgusting in this movie: the furniture store.
Oh yeah.
Furniture.
Can you imagine?
Oh, no.
Can you imagine buying furniture that people have been fucking on?
disgusting.
I really want to talk about that sex scene.
For hours?
Yeah. This is.
I was surprised it was only 10 seconds long, and then I fell asleep.
You're the king! You're the king!
This. I literally felt like I got an STD by watching this movie.
And actually, I had a fleeting thought of like, I've been in a position where, I've been told to just buy the model, the car in the dealership, like just buy the thing and don't,
The
By the
on
sales?
display? The on display model?
That's
Yes, because it's always
very
cheaper.
pushy.
Well, it's always
Just
cheaper
do
to
it.
just
Just buy
buy
it.
whatever's on the floor. And watching this scene, I thought, never again will I buy any floor models of anything.
Although they did say the sheets were clean. They put clean sheets on everything.
But by the way, these are.
But they're not going to take those sheets off, Mary.
I don't know.
They put new sheets on for themselves, but those are the sheets that we would be. I guess they wouldn't be buying the sheets.
My point exactly.
All right, we gotta play
All of it?
the scene, yeah.
We have to play all of this scene.
Just so you understand what I think, just because if you're listening to us, the first image that you think here, we can take it bit by bit.
Okay.
So here we go.
So this is the furniture store orgy.
Well,
furniture store
but
orgy.
that's
Well,
what I'm saying.
before
Like, when
we
you
talk
first,
about that, though.
No, when you first see this, you think this is the married couple who have gone back to their house to fuck. That's at least what I thought.
Because it
Oh,
all.
really?
It
I
looks
never thought
yeah.
that.
Oh, I never thought that
really?
in my life.
No, didn't occur
You
to
didn't
me.
think? Oh, wow. So you thought they were? Did you think they were in the house?
Yeah, I thought they were in a home.
Oh
too.
no, I thought they were
thought they were
fucking
in
in the
the
furniture store. I guess that's the kind of perverts June and I are.
Because the wife tempts the husband by going, I got these clean white underwear and bra,
And he's like, finally.
yeah.
They were my
It's
favorite
like the
couple.
ad of like a Hanes ad. Like that's how sexy this outfit is. I mean, all right, here we go. This is how it goes.
Lady, you got a license for that outfit?
Why, no, officer. I guess you're just gonna have to take me in.
So they present themselves. The camera
furniture
now
store.
Okay, now I see them all.
Furniture store.
across the store.
They are 7 feet away from these
Furniture
people.
store.
Now, I will just say before we continue the next part, like they're role playing in a group sex.
Yes.
Like there's an orgy.
By
and
the
these
way,
people are
that's
gonna role play.
so vulnerable.
Here's the thing.
So
That's what's
vulnerable.
crazy about the idea that they're not teenagers.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if these people are, I don't know, like 25, even in their 20s, I find this really strange.
What?
Well, why does
Everybody
the
was
role play?
fucking within
Find
6
it-
feet of each other?
I find it odd.
Why does a married couple have to go to a furniture store to fuck?
Why are they married? Why are they married? And if they are married, which I suspect is not true. No. Why are they still hanging out with the furniture store crew?
There's
Then why
no-
don't they go home? Go
Yeah,
home.
Go to your home.
Here's the thing. What's set up early on is that, Jenny or Jesse or someone's having a crazy party at the furniture store.
Which is like six people.
So
dancing.
that woman, the married woman, says we have to go to support her.
Oh, okay.
Because she gets so insecure about her parties at the
Yeah,
furniture
and the
store.
turnout.
No one ever comes
I'll
to
tell you
them.
what. I really liked Suze in the beginning, but she really goes crazy. Also, guys, heads up. If your girl is still fully dressed, don't get down to your boxers. Like, don't you be in your boxers while she's still fully dressed. It just is a little eager.
The camera now is panned over just a handful of feet to couple number 2, where this amazing interaction happens.
I like pepperoni.
Oh wait,
Oh my God.
You smell like pepperoni.
Well, if that's the way you feel.
Wait a minute.
What?
So
I like pepperoni.
Oh. In that case,
So many
All right,
bracelets.
so wait. Now, hold on.
Why does she start humming?
Yeah.
This is
Why does
Here's what I think.
humming?
I have a theory about this. I
Yes.
have a theory the actress went up to the director, and the scene ends, as written, the scene ends with, I like the smell of pepperoni. And then they're supposed to do it.
Right.
She went up to the director and she said, hey, here's the thing. I'm a singer. Can we do a take where here, I face out, I start humming a like blues ballad, and so I can and then but I will sing, and then you'll have that in the movie, and then that will make the scene that much more romantic and sexy.
Wait, you have a theory about what happened next?
He said yes.
I have a theory. I have a theory. So you say that to me, I'll be the guy.
Okay. Oh wait, are you the director?
Yeah, I'm the director.
Okay. Hi. This is so fun. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
You're doing great, kid. You're doing great.
Thank you. I don't know if you know this, and I really think it would enhance the scene if I were to, I don't know, at some point when you said I smell like pepperoni, I'm insulted, obviously. And
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry.
sorry.
Hey, we have to shoot 95 more pages in the next hour.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And anyway, so I was thinking I would just enhance the scene by like stepping out and like sort of having like a moment of being heard. And then I'll just throw that I'll hum a blues
You're going to
ballad.
hum a blues ballad? Okay, great. Well, as long as you pull your tits out, you can do whatever you want, sweetie.
You got a deal, mister.
As long as you pull those B cups out, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Cups.
And,
This is the crazy thing about this song. You're right. It's like a lullaby.
Yeah.
It sort of reads as though she's
I think she's
character needs to kind of get herself there.
Psyched up?
Yeah.
because she's like,
Well, she later is proven to be a straight up crazy
Lunatic.
person.
and then all right, so then the camera pans from them, as there, so it goes over to a guy going down on his girlfriend,
Well, he's trying to.
or trying to.
Michael,
What? No.
you know I don't allow that.
You allowed it last week, didn't you?
What do you
So I don't allow
I seem
that?
to recall it.
That's right. Just another lady out there telling another guy how much she hates being gone down on.
I mean, I have to say, she may just be uncomfortable with it in a furniture store,
Yeah.
which
Perhaps.
I can understand.
Perhaps. Or maybe
I can
she
understand.
Or maybe she just keeps finding gum in her pussy.
I know. He never stops chewing gum.
And it's like, listen, you know I love it, but I don't allow it from you because I got toxic shock twice last year because there was gum in my pussy. Fucking, this guy chews so much gum. It's bananas.
I pulled a few moments.
She's like, I found a golf ball sized big league chew.
Again, adding to my thing that everyone is discussing, and I think the idea is that the script was probably pretty bad, and everyone's like, I'm gonna dress up this character. I'm gonna give my,
Yes.
everyone's like, I'm gonna give my character like a
thing.
Yeah, thing. Like, what do I
Like
got?
a little tick, like a character
and
tick.
you think there's a commentary. There's 3 commentary tracks to this movie, but I will let this one just.
Wait, are they from Protector 1, Protector 2, and Protector 3?
It's just a lot of choop 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 choop.
Have a nice
Have
day.
a nice day.
I remember when we were shooting this scene. Have a nice day. It was so hot on set this day. Have a nice day.
All 3 of them are real estate agents now. They're great. All right, so this is just great. A little insight.
You'll notice he is chewing gum in every scene. I mean, when he's in bed with the very, very attractive Susie Slater, he is chewing gum. He was chewing 4 or 5 sticks at a time. And it's really annoying, and it's really funny, and that's all because of John. He's an incredibly inventive actor.
But I agree. I thought John was an excellent actor. That was my opinion. I was like, this John guy is good.
He made a choice.
He's really good.
I wanted to ask you guys about this thing because I was confused about this. The full body lace leotard. Was that ever a thing? Like
It's actually back.
Oh, yeah. Like a bodysuit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then that's normal.
Yeah.
All right. Because.
That checks out.
All right. I never saw. I never saw stepping in and pulling up a lace.
Keep in mind, that scene is at the shopping mall. The locker room at the shopping mall.
There is
where everybody from the mall just showers up and hangs
See,
out.
I thought that locker room was just for the pizza place employees.
Really? Now, that's even crazier.
You're right.
That's. Can you imagine a pizza restaurant? Can you imagine working a shift at
A
even
pizza
Mocha
restaurant
Pizzeria?
too, where the front of the house looks like what we already saw.
The guy's wiping his spatula on his thing, and there is a full-on spa-level locker room where people are just hanging out. Oh, I would love that.
There's so much we gotta get into. I do. Oh,
You okay?
Yeah.
Paul's short-circuiting.
Well, lasers.
Yeah, lasers.
I just killed 4 people in the audience.
And also, like, okay,
Yeah.
I loved that they had the idea, sneak out through the vents. Well, it's that thing of like, it was like they wanted it to be teenagers, but it wasn't. And the idea that the first thing they decide to do is we need to get some weapons. The guys are like,
Yeah.
we need to get guns. And that they go off and send the women into the heating vents, and then they get overheated in less than a minute. In less than 1 minute, it's as if the heating vent is 500 degrees and they are being cooked inside.
They said the heat was turned up.
Yeah, sure.
And look, and the heat in those 2 people across heating vents really get hot. Like I've never seen that. Like I think like they didn't figure out like the heating vent's not that wide to be able to be like 2 people shoulder by shoulder. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's like a 5 foot wide heating vent. That seems big to me, right? It's like Bruce Willis is in there in Die Hard, and I feel like that's like it's supposed to be
But
small.
this is a mall.
Yeah.
Right, maybe you're right.
A lot of area.
A lot
to
of square
cover.
footage. Yeah.
And a lot of just like very easily accessible firearms.
They
And
literally
paint stores.
They
I've never
pull
seen
a
a
gun
paint store in a mall.
off a discount rack. It says 30% off, and the guy picks up a handgun. Like there's no case. There's no like they don't even pretend to go behind the counter. It's like front of store items.
Yeah, it's like where an impulse buy is.
Yeah.
It's like where they put like M&Ms and stuff because you're like, fuck it. Except that it's like a shotgun.
A rack of shotguns, and the bullets seem close by too.
Oh, yeah.
They don't search for anything. Like load that shit up right 2 3.
How do the robots find the humans? Didn't like it.
I don't know how they found them. Because
they're patrolling
sometimes they
each
shoot.
floor.
What's that?
They're patrolling each floor.
Right, but
But
like
how do they smell them or?
I think they can hear them, but not very well because they get into a gunfight at one point with one of them. The other 2 don't show up.
Well, this is the interesting thing because to me, the at the very end of the movie, not to jump forward, but the woman.
No spoilers, Jim.
The woman, our final gal, saves herself just simply by hiding under a shelf, and
They could have done this the whole
They should
time.
have just all gotten under a table somewhere.
Here's the thing.
And
A
put
display
kibble,
and
put
just
kibble
stood
in front
there.
of them.
Yes,
in front
and
of their
just stayed
faces.
there.
The robots weren't looking for them.
Right.
They kept
No.
going and finding the robots.
Because the robots are just patrolling and killing anyone on patrol.
All they needed to do is
Yeah.
The
close the
robots
doors
were
to the
doing
furniture shop.
them.
What's that?
The robots were just doing them. They were
Yes.
doing themselves as robots. They weren't really looking
So
for
you're on the
trouble.
robot side.
Kind of.
Yeah. Well, this
I think
is.
I am
do you
now.
understand how big this is?
No, it's
That
huge.
you are on the side of
It's huge.
robots. your sworn enemies.
It did really feel, though, that they were trying to rile the robots up.
Hey,
And they were possessed.
all
The
they had to
robots were
do was
going
hide
crazy.
until morning. That's it. All they had to do was hide until morning,
Yeah.
which they easily could have done.
But they didn't know that.
In any store, under any display.
But they didn't know that because the minute they went to go hide, the robots kept on like lasering through doors to like go get them.
I would love it too when the robots would hide somewhere, and then like when the one robot killed Gum Chewer, and then like set his body so, and she came and was like, oh my god, you're dead, and then the robot was like, haha, I'm here. Like the robots had like real dramatic flourish to them.
The robots seemingly also opened door. Like their hands never seem to open doors, but there's one door that clearly looks like it should be opened by being pushed. But they just kind of like. I wonder if I have that clip. But I don't know if there's telekinesis.
Oh, can you wait 1 second?
Yeah, please.
How do I know that actor?
Well, I had
what?
the same.
Can somebody tell me what movie from my childhood I know him from?
I had the same thing. He is kind of around in like I think an adjacent movie, but I found it to be more interesting about where he is now.
Where is he now?
He is this jump.
Oh, what are we gonna see? Whoa!
By the way, I'm on board.
He is. He has a headshot up on his IMDb. He's
That
shirtless.
is not a headshot.
His pecs are out. He's a silver fox.
Is that a dad bod?
No,
No, it's not.
God, no, that's not a dad bod.
No.
That's
No. Okay. I'm still trying
No!
to hone in on exactly what a dad bod is.
that's like a well worked
He's like
out man.
that's a hunky bod, right?
Does he have a
Yeah.
We still
tooth around
call
his
these
neck?
guys hunks, right?
He is now a talent agent.
What if
Well,
that
you
was
need
your
a picture
agent?
like that for your agent.
What if you were like, hey man, I want you to keep repping me, but like you gotta take those shots down. It's like it's super weird.
Yeah, but I think he's on General Hospital too. I feel
Got
like
it.
Yeah.
All right.
But he looks so familiar to me, but I think he just looks
Yeah.
like somebody else.
Well, he looks like John Travolta a bit.
Yes,
So every
it
time
does.
you're kind of looking at him.
Sure,
it seems
a little bit like
familiar.
Jason Gedrick, Iron Eagle.
Oh yeah. This is whenever they do come into contact with the robots, they get into this like firefight with them, and it seems like a lot of firepower is being thrown at each other, and it always is missing. Here's
And nobody uses cover.
Yeah, they're just openly firing at this robot and seemingly hitting. And then the lasers there's so many lasers that everyone's a bad shot in this movie. Like, so many lasers not hitting.
But I think the magic thing is this movie features people constantly just standing in the line of fire and not getting out of the way, really.
Well, I have a lot of issues with the way that people react. When one of their friends catches fire,
I had that too. They just like, oh, what a shame.
they stare their friend down like,
and she's
watch
also
her burn.
But by the way, that's Susie, or Suze, and you know what? It's her fault. They were safe in the heat ducts.
But there was a long time where she was laying in the middle of the floor like this.
Oh my God, yes.
She could have.
Yeah. Mary's on the floor.
While the robot slowly lumbers towards her from behind. I thought it was going to like run her over.
Yeah, that's
almost,
what I thought too.
As
Nope.
if that was the setup, but I'm sure the robot couldn't do that. And so instead, it shoots a laser at the kerosene can she's carrying, and she
then-
goes up in flames.
And she goes up in flames, and no one does a goddamn
Because I
thing.
think
They stare her
guys,
down.
because I think what they realized is like, this lady's bringing us down. She's having panic attacks left and right.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna let her go right now,
Yes.
and we're going to honor her
Yeah.
from 10 feet away and watch her body burn out. Respectfully.
Yes.
Watch her burn.
I think you're right. I 100% think you're right. I would love to just straight up rewatch this whole movie right now.
I also like when they do kill one of the robots. It's like, what's that? And the guy's like, robot blood.
Oh, yeah. What? No, it is not.
The crazy thing about this gang of friends, too, is whenever someone gets upset, like when the brunette woman has some sort of a moment where she's yelling at her husband or something.
Oh, my God.
They immediately cover it with, I'm so sorry. I guess it's just the situation.
She says this exact line. I guess I'm just not used to being chased around the mall all night by killer robots.
I literally just pulled that up. It is the dumbest line of all.
It's unbelievable.
Because one of their friends is like, we're dead meat.
And I mean,
like, you're freaking around. It's like, really? Your friends have been killed?
I just do it before you press play. These jeans are too high-waisted.
First of all, they're
These
khakis.
jeans-
They're khakis.
They're khakis.
These khakis are too high-waisted.
By the way-
I know women love high-waisted pants. It's got to stop.
Really?
This is.
Whoa, wait, hold on, Jason.
Whoa,
Wait a
Jason.
second.
Jason. Whoa, Jason.
Sir. Have you ever tried to wear low
I can
rise?
see everything in this.
I do think that high-waisted pants, and I wear them. I wear a lot of high-waisted jeans with a tucked-in shirt. I think I look cute. But I do think it's a look that women, I think we feel that we look better than men think we do.
I would like to direct your direct your eyes to Exhibit A. Like, I can see her labia majora and her labia minora, and I'm pretty sure I can make out her clitoral hood. Like, I don't know what's going on. I shouldn't see any of this. In this scene, not in a locker room, where the woman is wearing full wardrobe, I should not be able to make out all of the shapes of her
You shouldn't be able
vagina.
to see her clitoral neighborhood.
I also think
I
she
think
has
they
an
look
issue
great.
with clothing. I think she just likes tight and high clothing because she at one point gets injured on her arm, does not take off her sweater, just wraps her sweatered arm where the injury is. So she's put a bandage over her sweater where the wound is, and then so it's bleeding through the sweater, which is then bleeding through the bandage. Like
That is, by the way, a surefire way to get a wound infected.
yeah.
Well, even before this scene, as soon as they're attacked in the furniture store, I mean, the women are all half naked. And as soon as they're attacked and run to the back room, they all start putting on their shirts. They've all been fucking in front of their very close friends, half naked, and then get dressed for the robots.
Yeah.
Well, their life, they got to get out of the mall. They got to go get a.
But I agree
Look,
with June.
I understand.
I agree with June. The rest of the movie, they should have been naked. I agree. I also think, like June, the
what
movie
I'm
would have been
saying
better
is,
if the women didn't wear tops
What
at
I'm
all.
saying is,
If
ladies,
once the
get the
tops
fuck
came
out
off,
of this mall
yeah,
now.
Don't bother putting a top on. Let those things flop around. Get out of here. Get
Those
your priorities
things?
straight. June and I are on the same page about this.
Finally. Well, let's hear the dumbest line of all time.
I guess I'm just not used to being chased around a mall in the middle of the night by killer robots.
Good boyfriend.
My favorite part is same character, brunette, is at one point has a calculator and is
Yes.
making calculations.
I got that too.
And you have that too. Okay, good.
I mean, you can explain it either way.
this I couldn't understand what this was even about.
I
So
feel like this
before
is.
this scene, when they're driving to the mall, they're in, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, they have started a business with their wedding money.
Correct.
An auto repair.
Auto repair business.
Yep.
The two of them. And she's great at it and he's not so great. And I
like
think
that.
because
Topple
I think
the
what we're
patriarchy.
supposed to think is because they're not that great at it that the business is not doing that well. but they're still going to try to have a fun night.
Right.
I
And
thought it was
so-
we spent all of our money on this auto repair shop. We can't go out and party, so let's go fuck in a mall. That's what I like. That's what I thought. I was like, we spent all our wedding money opening this business.
Oh, so you're saying
Oh.
they couldn't like go out to dinner?
Yeah.
See, I felt like they
Oh.
spent all their wedding money on the business, and so now had to like fuck in front of other people for money. But I'm serious. What is this? What
I
is
think-
she calculating?
Well, I think this is her having a mental breakdown. But we'll hear. Like, I have a theory here.
According to my calculations, provided we survive the night, of course, we're going to be in hock to this place for the next 85 years.
How many tune-ups is that?
Just a second.
She's so annoyed that he asked her.
2,900,431.
Maybe we should raise our rates.
That's we're gonna need a bigger boat of this movie.
What
So-
is she saying in the beginning of that? That she's
Okay.
85 years? What is she?
To
couldn't
pay
hear
now,
so
I
much
think
of the
I
dialogue.
got it.
I know it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she thinks that they are going to be financially responsible
The damage in the
for
mall?
the damage
Yes.
done to the mall by the robots that have literally murdered
Wow.
their friends.
They should not be small business owners.
This is what. So while hiding from the killer robots, she is calculating their financial responsibility. She's so convinced they're gonna get fucked somehow by the system. She's like, if we manage to survive the night against killer robots, we're for sure gonna have to pay for the damage to the mall.
Well, that's
The
why I
mall
feel like
will, not be responsible.
She should be like,
clearly.
we're gonna be rich.
Set for life.
But that's why I feel like she's having a clear mental break. It's like, should we just hide here? Well, I'll just calculate how much. And that means that she's also calculating damage. Like, we blew up that cigarette machine,
Yeah.
flower vase.
Okay,
I'm
they
gonna
took
rough
all
that and say
these. They
it's
took these
200.
guns. They
It doesn't even look like she's hitting the calculator either. It looks like she's just tapping a notebook.
But like, it's not even a long form calculator, so that means that she's not made a single mistake. She's like 200. Like, it's like a very basic calculator. Well, look, I think that they basically were like, hey, look, we need this scene because the movie right now is coming at 64 minutes. So
By this logic, she could just as easily be like, "Oh no, we killed that janitor. We did this."
Yeah.
Like she's taking personal responsibility for
Well,
everything.
and I thought for sure that her mechanic skills were going to come back at some point to
Wouldn't that have been great?
dismantle a robot. That never happened.
well, they don't even let the girl who's good at shooting fucking shoot a gun.
No.
After she's shown like she can like sharpshoot, like bam, it explodes. Then the next thing when everyone's shooting guns, she's like standing there without a gun, like cowering behind a mannequin. It's like, give her the fucking
Okay,
gun.
I've got
find
another
out why,
question.
too.
When it's her idea, smartly, to create a diversion using the mannequins, why are they hidden amongst the mannequins? If your idea is, let's put the mannequins out so the robots shoot the mannequins, don't mix yourselves in, because the mannequins allow you to go hide. That's the point. You're not like, ooh, now we're camouflaged within, because they'll just shoot everything. What are you, stupid? Fucking go hide somewhere. And they're all like, you fucking assholes.
Listen, I think when you know it's a mall movie, you expect that our characters are going to be pretending to be mannequins at some point. I think they worked backwards from
This movie, this movie needed more music. I feel like this movie needed more like weird 80s music.
I mean,
to
this
get
is
me
like
through
this is
stuff.
rejected John Carpenter music.
Yeah.
It's like yeah. I do before we go to the audience because there's more to talk about, but I do
like
want
the
to talk
opening
about
montage.
what?
Like the opening montage.
Well, the opening montage. I want to talk
Oh,
about. I
yeah,
have
that
thoughts.
opening.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that then, because I wanted to. Can anyone describe why the dads were fighting over the video game thing? Like, so a kid is playing a video game, a dad, or I assume a dad, knocks the kid out, then he starts playing, then another dad's like, get out of there, and he starts playing. It just seemed like an odd, like, commentary on, like, Is that what was happening in the video game places?
Things that happen in a mall, you know?
I guess it felt like the whole opening was, okay, this is, consumerism at its height, but it's also like clumsiness at its height. Like this is the age of, excess, and also like we all forgot how to walk.
Well, especially when you see some big boobs, like when those women in bikinis come out, the guy is like carrying a bunch of boxes, like go, he falls, and then he's like a dog whose eyes pop out of his head like an old like Tex Avery cartoon. He's like, got to get those.
Ooga, ooga.
I don't even understand that instinct of like a guy like walking down the street, that's not that does not happen, right?
I would love it if like the guy saw the women on the escalator and just like shit his pants. It was just like, like that's the equivalent of what's happening. He's just.
And who were those women, by the way?
It was like a beauty competition.
Yeah,
And I do think
at the mall.
But they do guys, they do like modeling like searches and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mary,
I would buy that.
Mary,
that at the mall.
that's a good segue. How were you discovered?
Well, there I was. I did
At
work
House of Almonds.
At House of Almonds. I did work at a Discovery Channel pop-up store in a mall.
Brag.
Really?
And there was a locker room.
Oh wow.
No, there wasn't.
Was there a luggage tent in the middle of the mall floor that just in case you fell from an upper story, the empty luggage would...
Also had stuffed animals in
Yeah.
the tent. It was full of stuffed animals.
Our hero
God.
falls off into a just oddly not a luggage store, just like a luggage pop-up. Because that's the most common thing that you would maybe have in a mall, a luggage store.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, I do want to talk about, this is the thing that blew my mind. So whenever the robots would kill somebody, like, thank you, have a nice day, right? They'd say that. So when our lead actress kills the robot, like gets them all dead at the end, she says, have a nice day. And to me, I'm like, wouldn't you want to subvert it? Wouldn't you want to like there's nothing clever about it.
I did have a nice day.
Yeah, or like have a nice life. Like, it's just simply like, oh yeah, you said that, now I say that. Like it's
And
like,
not even the full phrase either.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
half of
And
it.
also, I couldn't understand why they were programmed to say "Have a nice day" if they're not robot. They're not like welcome robots at the mall.
Customer
They're
service.
only there.
and they're only working at night.
They're only there at night
Yeah.
to catch thieves.
I agree.
I did think though that final line, like I feel like nobody had like a line like, you
Have a
bucket
nice
of bolts,
day.
like, go back, now you're on the discount rack. Like there's a million things you could say, or like, like I always thought you needed another coat of paint. Like whatever the thing was.
Paul,
like, yeah.
how many of these did you write?
1, 2. Let me get my calculator out. 2,415,000. No, but it's like that. Like it just is so anticlimactic, and then she walks away from saying her "Have a nice day" line with that limp. And I really, for a moment, thought it was going to be like Usual Suspects, like a Kaiser Soze moment where that limp went away, and she was like, "The robots were all my idea."
I'm a robot.
And lasers come out of her eyes. But yeah, the ending is really anticlimactic. I mean, they kill it, and then the guy that they think is dead, it's like, nope, I was fine. And
Toilet paper.
toilet
The only-
paper.
And the only people who did not have sex survived the movie.
And that's how it should be.
Yep. The
Consenting
fornicators
adults.
were punished
Fine.
by the robot gods.
Well, let's go into the crowd and let's talk to them about some stuff. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh, you've done this show. You've sang our song so many times. Let's see, sir, your name, your title for this film, and besides Chopping Mall, and your question.
My name's Tim. I go with the original title, Killbots.
Yes, the movie was called Killbots. It was released in the theaters and then pulled because no one wanted to see a movie called Killbots. They released it a few months later as Chopping Mall and was much more successful.
And the doctor that you talked about who's at the top of the movie, his name is Dr. Carrington. And I was wondering if it's possible that he's the father of Michael Carrington, and this is a shared universe with Grease 2.
Wow. Talk amongst yourselves up there.
I'd say maybe, but he wasn't British and Michael is, so it just doesn't seem likely.
So, stupid question, Tim. Stupid question.
So, next question. Let's see. Next question. Sir, what's your name, your alternate title, and your question?
My name's Chris. The ultimate title I think should be Laserbots.
Laserbots. Got it. Love it.
Because they didn't chop anybody.
You're right. They did not chop it.
I was just...
Sometimes throat punctured. Puncture bots.
They roadhoused that first guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of throat ripping, and I don't understand why they wouldn't just use lasers at all times.
Always use a laser.
Well, I guess I don't also know, like, well, what would a chop be?
Well, like a slicing them up.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah. Okay.
I was just wondering if they had any lawsuits from all the big name advertisements that were in the movie, like TV and Coca-Cola.
Yeah, nothing was covered in the movie. Like, nothing at all was...
I think all those companies were happy to have this as a representation of their products, especially probably the paint company. That's like, apparently our paint is incredibly flammable.
And so many different shades. Look at all the different shades.
That's not a good sign for like somebody redoing their house.
I mean, that store blew up.
It really did. That was the one
she
shot that
blew
was,
up.
yeah.
And how, I mean, she, in what? I'm going to say 1.5 minutes, emptied 70 gallons of paint. They quick cut to her being like, crank. She opened so much paint.
Okay, your name, your alternate title, and your question.
I'd go with furniture store interrupted.
Say it again.
Wait, what is it?
Furniture store fuck sesh interrupted.
Okay.
It's a longer title, but I like it. I liked fuck sesh interrupted.
FS.
I buy it.
No. Anyway, what guest appearance from another How Did This Get Made movie all-star would be better to help improve the film? Would it be Gene Simmons' character in Runaway or Hollywood Montrose from Mannequin 2?
Oh, wow, this is interesting. So we've done a few mall-based films. Who would we like to see? Or mall-based and robot-based movie. So we have Gene Simmons as the evil inventor of the spider robot from the Tom Selleck movie Runaway.
I will say, I don't know that I would choose Hollywood, but I would have loved it if one of the characters in this movie was a come-to-life mannequin in the mall. So if they were at the furniture storgy and were like, and then one of the mannequins was just like, I'm here too, let's do it.
What if when the robots were firing at the mannequins, one came to life like, I'm gonna die!
Like here's things I want. I don't want aliens versus Predator. I want mannequin versus robot.
Okay, MBR. Okay, so your name, your alternate title, and your...
Name is Robert. Alternate title would be Chop Till You Drop.
I like that one. Good.
There's no chopping, it's more pinching.
Okay, but I'll take it, yeah.
And my question is, are the robots possessed? Because inside the security station, what's going on?
I don't think they're possessed. I just think they think they're hilarious. That's what I meant by they kept like looking at each other like, get a load of this.
I also like the guy holding up his centerfold just like, oh yeah. Does that happen at work?
Fuck yeah.
But I think what your question speaks to a larger point, and what you were saying too, Jason, like the personality of the robots. It's hard to pin down because they don't. I can't believe I want to say this. They don't feel evil to me.
Wow.
It doesn't feel like their motivations are
someone
really bad.
Who questioned the moral goodness of BB-8.
I know.
You are on board for 3 murderous robots.
No, I think they felt
misunderstood? Question mark?
They felt like spoiled brats. But they didn't.
So they were the teenagers of the movie.
Yes, they felt like teens. Like a bunch of white male teens.
That's the teen fuck fest. That's the teen fuck fest.
So they weren't invited to the fuck fest, so they went out and
Interesting.
All right, we've uncovered something. I don't know what. Sir, your name, your alternate title, and your question.
My name is Bill. Alternate title is Mall of Killmerica. Question is, during the scene that they had the furniture storgy,
See?
A lot of good.
It fucking works.
A lot of good.
It fucking works.
A lot of good
dude.
punning over
Doesn't
here.
it feel good to say? Doesn't
Jason
it feel
said that
great to
earlier,
say?
so
Storgy.
The
It's
song
amazing.
that was playing during that, when they were dancing, was a song called Streetwalkin', followed up with the line, "It's the best that I can do," which is the theme for Roger Corman's Streetwalkin' movie as well. So this is also a shared universe with Streetwalkin'.
Wow. All right. So we're going deep into the Roger Corman. Everything here.
The Corman verse.
That I love that Streetwalking. You know, the one thing that I noticed in this movie too, and it's just again goes to like the laziness of some moments of it. All of it is. There's a PA announcement like, attention, there's a lost child in the lingerie department, and then they go, answers to the name Steven. Answers to the name?
So that
Like, you
means,
wouldn't, like-
that means somebody was like, Mark, Peter, Billy, William, Frank, Mitch, Glenn, Gary, Marcus, Ross.
Why
Ross
would
Geller.
you ever go like when you just
Chandler
go,
Bing.
But even when it finally works, when you go, whose name is Steven?
Yeah.
Through process of elimination, we found
I don't know.
out.
I
it's
think I've
Steven.
done everything. Steven? Yes. It's Steven. By the way, smart kid. Found him in the lingerie department. Kid
all
gets
right.
it.
Your name, your alt title, and your question.
My name is Cecily, and I don't really have a good title, like easily avoidable decisions in film. And then I just wanted to point out that on the Wikipedia page, there's a blurb where it says that it's one of the only films where when they aired it on TV, they had to make it longer by like 20 minutes. Like they extended it to a 90-minute film.
That is amazing.
What?
Because it couldn't make. I guess they probably have a 2-hour slot that TV needs to fill.
So with the full
commercial.
credits and everything.
And commercials.
Yeah.
And
And
commercials.
opening montage.
Well, it's only
Wow.
77 minutes, so even a 90-minute
in,
movie
yeah.
is the normal 2-hour filler. That's crazy. Where did they find this extra footage?
They added like the scene where like the virgins are watching the old movie. Like they just extended that for a really long time.
Just
They showed 11 minutes of that movie. You saw the third act of a monster movie, just close up on a television in the furniture store.
Who has a good question? We have one last question. Tonight, by the way, everybody asking questions are getting some comic books from our friends over at Coliseum of Comics, and also zines from Daniel Joel Katz, who makes his own zines about movies. Who has a good one? Who feels really confident? Oh, wow, this guy feels really confident. All right. No animated hand. If you have a book, I see a book. Books always make me feel like there's some fun. All right, let's see.
Oh, and a blazer.
And a book and a blazer. All right, let's see. All right, sir, here you go. Your name, your alt title.
What? We're going to Largo. I wore a blazer.
I like it. It's respectful.
And a pocket
I want people to
square.
start dressing up as the characters from these movies when they come here, but you didn't do that. Here you go.
Name is Brian. Rambo Graham.
Okay, great.
So I want to bring up the women in the beginning with the bikinis. They're wearing sashes, and what they said were, the Park Plaza Mall, the future is now, have a ball, and take the kids.
So they were like a walking advertisement for the mall. That's amazing.
The future is now. What if you just saw them wandering independently? So there's just a woman with a sash that says, take the kids.
Yeah, they have to stay together.
Some creep's like, I got the go-ahead. I got the go-ahead that I've been looking for. I finally got a message from God. Take the kids. The future is now is pretty great too.
Before we get into the second opinions, because there's not many, I just wanted to show this, again, some commentary clip. So just if you thought oh, by the way, here you go, here's the Take the Kids. This is just a little supercut of the directors and what they think about stuff. I'll let their words speak for themselves.
As I've been for the last 50 years of my life.
Forever.
I said, that girl's for me. Let's put her in the picture.
She qualifies.
Roger wanted some nudity in this picture. He said at least 2 girls or 3 girls have to get naked. So Barbara Crampton agreed to do nudity, and so did Susie Slater. And I think I had one naked girl walk by here just to get an extra pair of breasts in the movie.
There we go. I think at one point, when Barbara had seen this movie, she had said, I don't know if it was to us or to somebody else, I have lovely breasts, don't I? Well, I think the answer is yes. It helps to have hot chicks on the set.
It does. It certainly does. Especially, it distracts people.
And it's good to have a great-looking chick who knows how to make Molotov cocktails.
Absolutely.
I'm so deeply rattled by that director.
I know, I see your face.
I am so deeply rattled. And just a little PSA for the actresses in the audience, you never have to show your tits in a movie. Someone asks you to do it while you're there. I've been asked, you don't have to do it. Unless you want to, and then you should. But
and I'm gonna
if you don't want to, you don't have to.
You should suggest humming a blues ballad instead.
I mean, that was a really disturbing commentary.
Oh,
yeah. So I just want to give it its weight. It was really fucking horrible.
I want to work with them.
This movie brought to you by Creeps.
What?
I mean, wow.
Still at it after all these years. Creeps.
Creeps.
We can't be stopped.
What a fucking pig.
Creeps. Holy moly.
Disgusting.
And so proud of being creeps.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap. When I heard that last night, like, yeah, it always helps to have a hot chick on set. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember if she said this to us or to somebody else, or if I'm making this up entirely, which is more likely the case. But she said I have really lovely breasts, and I agree. I am a creep.
This is the original poster for Killbots, just a big picture of the robot, which they clearly then just replaced with a mall. Obviously, we had an opinion about this film, but there are other people out there that had a different opinion. It's now time for second opinions. Here's David and Kate.
I have an opinion, but here it does not matter. At how did this get made? Second opinions are much better. Amazon has them all. Paul reads them out with glee. Second opinion bring much joy to all of you and me. Kumate.
And now here's Kate.
Hey, just saw a really bad movie. Hey, it couldn't end too soon. Hey, it was a super bad movie, but I'd do just about anything for Jason, Paul, and June. Now I've got an opinion and it's pretty low, but there's just some people for whom that isn't so. This is their opinion, their second opinion.
Amazing. Wow. Both winners. Holy moly.
That's how it's done.
That is how it is done.
Kate, David.
Amazing. Wow. Those were awesome. Holy cow. That was just great.
A lot of people are going to be driving home tonight really angry. Like, you should have gotten up there.
No.
You said you were gonna. You should have.
That's the way to come. Come with some lyrics. Come with... that was awesome. Very good.
That was great.
All right, so obviously second opinions here are a little bit hard
Still
to
waiting
find.
for a full band to show up someday. Does anybody have anything? Like people like saxophones and guitars.
Where can we set up? All right, this one is from...
Can we get a sound check?
This one here is from Robin B. McGorm. This was back in 2013. Security robots, yes, they sound good. Trained to kill and shoot all trespassers, even forget to listen to all orders and commands, sound like little terrors to me. Well, on the first night, they do their job at a shopping mall that has some shop assistants staying for a bit of fun. The fun you do when your folks aren't home to interrupt your basic needs.
Your folks aren't home at the mall.
And then first-class entertainment that will not be forgotten too soon. Different and surprisingly marvelous to watch. Plenty of action and suspense that you wonder where the little horrors are, so you have to be on your toes at all times. Sit and relax, grab the popcorn, put your feet up, and rate this an A+ grade. for an unforgettable enjoyment of a wonderful show. It's like an odd...
A wonderful show?
A wonderful show, and seems to have like this like idea, like these little terrorists getting in and mixing it up.
These scamps.
Yeah, this is the
These
one...
incorrigible killbots.
This one like got me a little bit, like I want to unpack it a little bit. This one was just written as one of my all-time favorite 80s horror movies. It's been a while since I last saw this movie, and it still gives me that guilty pleasure of seeing robots kill those teenagers.
Uh-oh.
That's not a guilty pleasure.
That's a red flag, my friend.
Just like the feeling I get when I put kittens into buckets of water, this movie makes me feel what other people call alive.
And then goes, favorite scene was when the girl gets her head blown off by the laser beam. ... Love it! So if you... ...
I directed this movie, I'm a creep.
If you ever encounter Rob Robles, beware. And then finally, this is from the Sultan of Sexy.
I believe it.
It goes like this. If you were in your 20s back when this came out, like I was, all you cared about was how much skin you saw and how much gore got thrown at you. There could have been a bit more skin, but I guess we can't have everything. It's worth the money even if Miss Maroney kept her clothes on. Darn it. 5 stars. So there we go.
Were these all written by the director?
These oddly also are all written within the late 2000s. This was written in 2010, that last one. The guy who likes to see teenagers get killed, that was in 2017. And then the first one was in 2013. These people were checking into this movie a little bit later. Obviously, we knew a little bit about this movie, but on our new spin-off show, How Did This Get Made? Origin Stories, Blake got to sit down with Kelly Maroney, and they did about an hour-long interview about the movie, and about a half an hour passes, and she calls him back to say,
well, I noticed this when I first saw the screening of it, but I was kind of hoping nobody else would notice it, but everybody notices it. One of the things that really upsets me about the movie is that I go through the entire film with severe camel toe. I mean, severe camel toe. It's all you can look at. Nobody said a word to me the entire shoot. Now, Jim Wynorski, I can understand why he wouldn't say that. But the costume lady, one of my friends, I mean, I watched the movie and all I can think of, oh no, there's another camel toe shot. Oh no. And it's not just me. I was hoping, okay, I noticed that, but you know what? Nobody else is going to notice that. It's all over the internet, the camel toe.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just want everyone to know, I know.
I mean, didn't she feel it? It's so severe.
I feel like there's a lot of fabric inside. Like,
she had
like
to have felt it. That's why she's making that
face. It's more revealing than if she was nude. Somehow.
I was gonna say, she did have sex in this movie with her own pants. I feel like people must have thought, like the chewing gum, it was a choice. It was like, oh, it's such a great idea that she would have such intense camel toe.
I mean, it's really prominent.
One other little thing to look for in this movie.
Do you think those are functional pockets?
Don't know what could be in them. One of the things that to watch for in the movie, and we weren't able to find it, but they shot this movie from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. for 20 days straight. And so whenever you do see an extra, especially in the beginning, some people are dozing. Like they are falling asleep in the background because of the night shoots. So that's a little fact for you. Well, I think we talked about everything there is to talk about. We really got a whole viewpoint in here. Would you recommend the movie? Jason, would you recommend
100%.
June, would you recommend the movie?
I'm all twisted up here. I can't recommend it.
Okay.
I would say no.
No. All right. Well, I feel like now, I think it was obviously not knowing what the directors were like. I would say, but besides that with Danny, it is fun to watch. I would argue that. All right, so there we go. But I don't want you to ever watch it.
Yeah, we'll talk about all this later, but yeah, not good. It's not good. It's not good.
So anyway, if you have an opinion that you would like to share about this, you can give us a call at 619-PAUL-ASK, 619-PAUL-ASK. That's the number for our mini episode, and we can listen to your messages there. But let's talk about what everyone's got going on. Mary, what do you want to plug?
You can follow me on Twitter at mholland85, and I post about shows that I'm doing here at Largo and at UCB, and other things coming up. Check
You're
out
going to be on
Shrimp
Veep this season, which is very
yes,
exciting.
Yes, on Veep this season. I did an episode of Drive Share on
Drive
Go
Share,
90.
which is on the show that Rob and I did, Rob People and I, and that's on Go 90. Yeah, super fun stuff.
Yeah.
June? Well, Grace and Frankie season 3
Grace and Frankie comes out March 24th.
Right.
The third season.
It'll be out by the time
Yes,
this is out. Yes, that'll be good. And then Jason.
Yeah, I got nothing.
All right. Well,
But you know, like I'll say, this podcast, pass this podcast around. Isn't there something right now where you're telling people to,
Tripod, right?
yeah.
Tripod.
So
try this pod.
Are we supposed to tell people about a podcast to listen to? Or are we supposed to tell them to listen to our podcast? I don't know how this
The idea
works.
is that you're supposed to tell people who are not listening to podcasts to try listening.
I'm gonna once again plug other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that Crime Town continues to be fantastic.
It's great. I love it a lot.
And the Seth Morris Radio Project.
Very good. You can hear that on Stitcher Premium and How. Also, you can hear our spin-off show, Origin Stories, also on Stitcher Premium and How. And follow the Big 100 on Instagram. A big thank you to Brett Morris up in the booth, everybody here at Largo. Everybody here at Largo.
Flanny changed the name, Largo.
Avril Halley, who pulled all these amazing clips and listened to all these commentaries. July Diaz, Nate Kiley, Kelly Alto, Leanna Waldron, and everybody at Earwolf, thank you so much. And thank you for coming tonight. So great.
Thank you to David and Kate for singing the songs.
This has been an Earwolf production, executive produced by Scott Aukerman, Chris Bannon, and Colin Anderson. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.
They're the most people of Largo. We are live at Largo at the Cornet, our LA home, where they have amazing shows. If you're ever in LA, come check us out or come see amazing shows here. Tonight is a very important night. Tonight is a night where we talk about a movie of substance. We talk about a movie that examines things that Hollywood is always afraid to examine. Surfing ninjas. And we are joined tonight by some of our favorite past guests serving as my co-hosts for the absent June and Jason. I want to introduce you to them right now. Please welcome. You ready for this? From episode 11, The Tourist. Who was that, right? Who you know? He is a hilarious writer and actor. He wrote for Happy Endings. You can see him all the time on Snapchat being hilariously funny. He is also a lot on Comedy Bang Bang. Please welcome Gil Ozeri. There he is. Welcome, Gil. But did you now? We were talking about this. Did you see Surf Ninjas in the theater?
I didn't see it in the theater, no.
Okay, so it's a home video rental for you?
Yes, it was. Blockbuster.
It has, like, this is the first time I saw this movie, but it does have, like, the most, like, kid-catching, like, cover box. Like, it is, like, kids are surfing, Leslie Nielsen's on
It's mid-surf. It's a shot mid-surf.
They're in the middle of the barrel. Are they?
Yeah.
And what would you say of, like, would you say that surfing is really good in this? Like, photographically done? Like, really well captured?
Oh, absolutely not. No.
For a movie that calls itself Surf Ninjas, I would say it's probably the shittiest.
I mean, there's maybe 50 seconds of surfing in the entire movie.
There's a lot of ninjaing, not a lot of surfing. From episode 132, Bloodsport. She is the star of Loosely Exactly Nicole. You can find that online right now. She performs at UCB. You saw her in Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Please welcome Nicole Byer. Welcome, Nicole.
Hello.
Did you ever know of Surf Ninjas before I put this DVD in your mailbox?
No. Never heard of it before in my life. And it really delivered.
You felt like that the ratio of surfing and ninjaing to you was okay?
Well, no. I mean, if we're gonna get real, you said it was like 30 seconds of surfing. Yeah, like Rob Schneider never got on the surfboard, and you're the white man in the movie. What are you here for?
A lot of people, there's a lot of odd surfing choices in this movie. I mean, well, we'll get into it all. Rob Schneider, I feel like we could spend a whole episode only talking about that character. I'm excited. Our final guest co-host tonight. He was in episode 6, Battlefield. Episode 98, LOL with Miley Cyrus. He is in Transparent in the upcoming movie Baywatch and is doing a show with me called Drive Share, which is on Verizon Go 90. Please welcome Rob Hubel. Welcome, Rob.
Thank you.
This is, I have to say, I'm so excited that you're all here to talk about this movie. I've saved Surf Ninjas for the right occasion, and I can't think of a better threesome to watch this with because we're kind of like
the three of us specifically.
The three of you. When I could pick my favorite people, because I feel like we're like Surf Ninjas.
We go surfing once a week together.
We also do moto surfing.
Yeah, moto surfing.
Cars.
Yeah, all right, so
did you already? You asked how many people have seen the movie? Everyone.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And I say to all of you, Kwanzaa!
Kwanzaa! I haven't seen the movie. I read the book. So that's not in the book. So
the book definitely does deviate a lot.
It's a lot different.
I gotta say, right off the bat, just generally, for a children's movie, it's very dark. Like if you just took out all the themes, I know I joked about it at the top, but it's like murder and revenge and houses are being burned down and parents are being kidnapped. Meanwhile, the main plot is children trying to be people are trying to kill children. It's a lot for like a PG movie.
That's not your go-to theme for kids movies. Is like kids trying to almost get murdered.
Yeah.
By the way, the house that gets burned down gets exploded so nonchalantly.
Yeah.
We'll get into that maybe.
Yeah,
but
I mean, there's so much.
It's like, oh, I turned on the gas to blow up your fucking house. Now you have no choice but to come with me.
And did they have like neighbors? Like so many people must have died and they just walked away.
Yeah, that was not a small explosion. That house
huge.
that was like a Lethal Weapon 2 explosion.
Yeah.
It was like,
I was saying to Gil, I don't think this is an inexpensive movie. This was a Like, I think they go to Thailand. Like, I was looking at Thailand, and I was
I
like,
went to the Wikipedia page.
You
They
did?
go to Thailand. The budget is not there because I think they were embarrassed.
Yeah, no one can find the budget.
They spent this much and didn't make any money.
like I was trying to figure out where those huge stairs were in LA. Where is that?
Oh, I loved those stairs.
Yeah.
Every time you fell down, I laughed out loud.
so hard.
But I mean, they tripled down
Yes.
on that joke. They're like,
He threw himself.
We gotta use these stairs. I mean, look at these stairs. I mean, there's more than 15. We gotta use them 3 times.
just to pull it back, obviously, you know, it's a seminal moment in film when Ernie Reyes Jr. and Sr. get to work together. You get to see father and son.
Can you give me a little backstory, because I'm not familiar.
Well, Ernie Reyes Jr. to me anyway, growing up, was the coolest because he was in all the karate movies, like Sidekick, and like, you know, he would like, and what else? I don't know. Any movie that was karate.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 he was in, yeah.
Yeah, he was
Is he
like
in any other surfing movies?
No, he is more.
So he's not really surfing in this movie.
No, he's more of like
he's standing there on like apple boxes as the camera pans past him in a parking lot, right?
You would think they could pay for at least one surf class for a movie called Surf Ninjas.
Probably.
Like,
Seems like
let's
it.
get him on the board and we'll get one shot of them
Wait,
in
is
the water.
Eddie Reyes Jr. the oldest brother?
Ernie Reyes
Oh,
Jr.
Reyes.
is the old brother, and his dad is the one with the eye patch.
Can I just say, I'm so mad that they made me watch almost an hour of that movie before he took his shirt off and was hiding all of those muscles. I was like, damn! I literally rewound it to be like, he's 15? Oh, I'd sit on his face over and over and over again. He looks so good.
I will say that when he did take off his shirt, it was shocking.
Yes.
It was shocking.
I got slightly hard.
Yes.
Like, I mean,
He had
he's just
all
like
the
as
muscles.
a human being, you're like, oh yeah, that's a perfect boy body.
See, maybe I'm just not sexual. I was just angry that he didn't fight for the first hour. Like, why isn't he fighting? That was me. But I guess, you know, he was pretty hot.
I think we have to talk about the trio of the film. Obviously, it's Ernie Reyes Jr. He has his brother Adam, right? This is Adam, and then their other friend,
who's 32 years old.
Fucking
He's so old in that movie.
so much older.
Schneider. Rob Schneider. And I looked and I said to myself, well, clearly this is before he got SNL. No. It was before his last year on SNL. He was on SNL from 89 to 94. This was in 93.
He's supposed to be playing a 15-year-old going on 16, and he literally looks like a dying cancer patient. In the first shot, he has like this like weird hat on, and he's like has a receding hairline. He looks so fucking, and his hair is dyed like such a shit pink,
Such a weird orange.
Yeah,
mauve.
It's like a
It's very
Trumpy.
weird.
yeah, it's like the color of like, you know, when you see like nuggets being made, like that pink sludge. That's the color of his hair.
And I feel like they said, like, I feel like someone said, are we nervous that we have a man, a 40-year-old man with these children? They're like, we'll dye his hair. Those fuckers won't know. Like, they're like, we'll young him up. We'll young him up.
And they gave him those sideburns that go straight up the forehead.
Like, why not just make him the short order cook at the dad's restaurant that like pals around with the kids?
Because it makes more sense logically that his only bit is to think that he's the prince or whatever.
Yeah.
Literally, that's his only
it.
game
and
in
it's
the
like,
whole
are
movie.
you stupid? Did you hit your head? But he didn't, because he never surfed.
And the way, oh my God.
By the way, it was cool when they were surfing and they surfed into the bad guy with the spear gun.
Oh, yeah. And then he washes up on shore and then
washed up on
immediately
shore.
goes away.
By the way, that shot I thought to myself, because there's a shot where he washes up on shore, and in that shot there's a little kid and a dog and a dead guy, and I thought that shot took like 2 weeks to get that fucking dog and that fucking kid and that dead guy to wash.
And he washes onto shore, and then all the
right back. But then the dog goes after him. Did the dog have a feast? What is that dog doing?
By the way, let's talk about how shitty the ninjas are that are sent to dispatch our surf ninjas. First of all, they attack in broad daylight and in blue outfits. They are the most aggressive. They're like ninja. I believe is about stealth.
Yeah, but all of the one of the worst parts of this movie, I would say, is the camouflage. Like, there's a shot of a Jeep at one point that's like camouflage that you can tell they painted like 3 minutes before they said action. It's like a guy just like spray painted some blue, and it's just like, and their outfits are, it's totally.
I was baffled by why they just never took action. They would do these moves in front of like Rob Schneider for literally 15 seconds, and then he would like hit them with a plate, or they would have like guns and just never fucking fire them.
Well,
do something.
Well, I feel like everything about them is wrong. Like, they travel around in an empty garbage truck, but there's only 2 ninjas in the back of the garbage truck. So the garbage truck comes in, and then like the door opens and 2 ninjas drop out. Like, just get a compact car, guys. Fucking drive a Kia around. You'll be fine. You'll be less noticeable than driving a giant truck. Like, they were bad ninjas. They attacked in the middle of a classroom.
Yeah, they
And
attacked
nobody
at his
noticed.
school. Yeah.
Nobody. That classroom was filled with kids. Nobody.
I don't like these ninjas. I felt like we saw the beginning of Ghost Riding the Whip here. Because moto surfing, these kids love surfing, obviously, but they really love to surf in their Jeep. But it's very dangerous what they're doing.
There's a scene right after this where the cop has pulled over some other kids that were moto surfing, and they lie about it, but then he pulls out the paddle, so he's like, I busted you. Like, that's the thing?
He's like,
the paddle is the giveaway?
I don't get what paddling has to do with surfing. Why do they need paddles for
It's not like
fucking
moto paddleboard.
Yeah.
But it's also like, that's the thing in Santa Monica. Like, we love to surf so much that when we drive half a mile from one location to the other, we have to mind the act of
what we're going to do,
We got to be surfing at all times. Some form of surfing.
We got to get warmed up.
So obviously, if you're just joining us, these 2 children are being hunted down by ninjas. We don't know why.
How old is the older child?
He's 15. He's about to be 16 in 3
But in
weeks.
real life, is he?
He's probably 29.
Yeah. That's a man, right?
Yes, that's a definite
good.
man.
I mean,
And
look
when
at
he
those
takes off
muscles.
that shirt,
All man. He says something that's so kind of great, like in the beginning. They go into school here, and like he's that's the thing. He's always like saying like, I'm real smooth. He's not smooth.
No.
And he doesn't even say, like, I wrote down one of the lines, like...
All of their surf talk sounds like a 45-year-old white guy wrote that surf talk.
Yes.
It's all like, hang loose, cool bro.
I wrote down, they use the word, the joke psych 3 times.
Oh my God. Which is a great joke.
It's a great
rule
joke.
of threes.
Yeah, rule of 3s.
Well, he says when he's going to school, he goes, yeah, I promised that I would perform a native ethnic dance. He doesn't label, like, you would never say a native ethnic dance. You would say, like, a Pantsu dance, a, Taiwanese dance. You wouldn't say a native ethnic. You wouldn't just, like, leave that. Like, that's not, like, a catch-all. I thought that was an odd choice. They didn't narrow it down. And then also when he was, like, giving an example of his joke, he's like, you gotta be smooth. Like, when the teacher asks you where Spain is, go, it could be anywhere. That's not a joke. Like, you had a chance to write this movie. You could have, it wasn't improvised. You could have gone back and like, well, yeah, let's, like, be like, I think it's where it rains on the plains. And I just made that up now. And I think it's slightly better than it could be anywhere.
They're not good in school. They're not good in school because they care about surfing and ninjaing.
Well, no, they don't care about ninja.
Well, they're
No,
about
they only
to.
care about
They're
surfing.
about to.
But like the native ethnic dance, when that teacher like doubles down and is like, "We picked an ethnic kid, an Asian kid,
Yeah.
to do an Asian-inspired dance," I was like, "Wow, no, you can't do that, white friend, in this movie, no." Oh, it was wild.
And then the dance, the dance they choose to do. So they're seeing like.
Also, why is this man out of school?
Yeah, why is he making
What is
a
he gonna be
visit?
doing?
Yeah. That's Woo, by the way, from Deadwood. Oh, okay. Fucking Woo.
Yeah, like his country sent him over to America to visit elementary schools.
I have no reason. And this school does not look like a fancy school. At
No,
all.
it's a public school.
Why? Yeah, well, he came to Santa Monica.
Monica Public
That's
School.
where Baba Rum came from. Came to.
And again, it's a movie made in 1993, so all the cool kids are singing this song.
An Asian American student has been persuaded to volunteer and prepare a welcoming presentation, which
That's the part I would play in the movie.
is in the traditional ethnic style.
That's it. In the traditional ethnic style. In the traditional ethnic style.
You know, ethnic.
Ethnic! That's crazy. Like no one flagged that on any level.
Well, I guess it was so they didn't have to like pick an Asian place because they picked a fake one.
But he's from Ponsu.
That's fake. I looked it up on Wikipedia.
Wait a second. Now my mind is like, so there's no...
No, there isn't.
No, it's like made up. I guess if people are too scared of China or Taiwan or like Korea. Or
I did look this up also. The island was made up by Joseph Conrad, actually, in a book called Lord Jim. And essentially the guy, this island, Patusan, I think it was called, is the same island that Eddie Reyes Jr. is from in Sidekicks.
Wow.
And the guy who wrote this movie wrote the pilot for Sidekicks. So he keeps putting this island into every fucking movie he writes.
And let me tell you something. That was all planted for this moment right now.
Right now.
No one has ever. Now that guy's just like, they get it.
You can stand up, sir. You can stand up.
By the way, you would think that the guy who wrote this movie went on to write other famous kid movies. Nope. Passenger 57, Wyatt Earp, Murder in the First, and The Hurricane. These are fucking serious big deal movies.
Wait, what's that Yerp movie?
He went.
Wyatt Earp.
He went in the right direction,
like a western with Kevin. It's like a less interesting Tombstone with Kevin Costner.
Okay.
That's how they described it in the trailer, by the way.
All right, so here's the ethnic song.
Great lighting.
This kid.
Ba 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 rum. Ba 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 rum. Take my hand.
I mean, they reversed that.
You got me rocking and rolling, rocking and reeling, ba ba
This is 1993, and the auditorium is really into Baba. That's a 60s song.
By the way, that song, the fact it's supposed to show that he doesn't care about school, has no effect on him. He just keeps, nothing happens to him because he does that song. I was fucking pissed.
Yeah, he doesn't get into much trouble.
No.
But I guess because he never really goes back to school. That day happens, then his father's kidnapped, and then...
Oh, you mean Nick Nolte? Yeah, he was kidnapped.
Are we going to talk about Tone Loc at all?
It is there for the taking. Tone
Loc usually makes great movies.
Always picks his projects very carefully. This is odd.
I was confused why. What am I supposed to feel about Tone Loc? Am I rooting for him? Like, do I want another older man to be friends with these young boys?
Well, it's odd because Tone Loc is a bad cop, right? We already know that from the get-go. Like, he immediately tells the kids, like, your father's not kidnapped. He just is into bad shit and hiding out. Don't worry about it. He's a scumbag. Your dad's a scumbag. Anyway, good night, kids.
Good night. He's been driving around. He spent all day with those kids.
Yeah. And he's like, they're scumbag. And then he just, tags along?
Yeah, just decides to go, and then later is ridden.
He says that he
like a
hasn't
sled.
Yeah.
Ridden? Is that a word I can say?
He said he hasn't had a vacation in 17 months. And so he decides to come along on this journey.
For the laughs, I think.
For the
it was.
laughs.
For the
I need some laughs.
I need some laughs. You handcuffed me, but I'm here for the laughs.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go kill somebody. I can't wait for the laughs. Like,
Yeah.
It's a mission to kill.
I'll explain it to my Sarge later.
Okay, so then, well, I guess the other thing too is, we gotta talk about Leslie Nielsen.
Yes.
Oh boy, can we? Oh boy, I love that scene where they're fighting and then that elephant comes and stomps on him and then he becomes half robot.
He's a veiled Darth Vader who, at certain points, is super goofy, right? And I appreciate that. Like, I was laughing at some of the Leslie Nielsen stuff, but he's also running a full-on torture chamber where people are hanging in, like, prison balls, like
cages,
cages. They're being tortured, like legit tortured and brainwashed, and he also hurts, like he
tortures
people.
The tone of this movie has like bipolar disorder. Some of the time it's trying to be scary as hell, and other times it's like so goofy, and he's like playing with the voicemail.
It's like
that bit made me laugh.
I mean, he makes you
runs
laugh.
up the stairs like.
I love that he was just like couldn't get wet, but his entire layer was filled with water. There's water everywhere. What are you doing?
But there's also a good bit where he was like, just kill him. Then he's on call waiting. Just kill him.
That made me laugh out loud.
I laughed out loud at that part too. But then you see that goofy moment, and then it's followed by him gouging out someone's eye. Like, he literally then gouges out someone's eye. So you're like, what? Like, it would be like if Darth Vader just murders a bunch of people and then just starts doing physical comedy, like slipping on his cape.
By the way, I was watching this with my wife, and she happened to go on the IMDb message boards, and it said that Leslie Nielsen in between takes was method and would not break character. Yes. And everyone was scared of him on set. Was like he was trying to scare them.
Wild!
This is the movie he chose to go method on. Surf ninjas.
Oh man!
Finally, a part I can sink my teeth into, where I can actually be. Daniel Day-Lewis did. I mean, he is the best part in the. I mean, he is definitely stands out as being a solid part of the movie. This is Colonel Chi. I guess the other part about him too that I think is simple to kind of bring up is, why is he white? Like, he shouldn't.
There's so many white people in this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of white people. Yeah.
For no reason.
Like, there is no I was like, oh, is he like Tom Cruise's character in The Last Samurai? Is like he was an American who's now been brought into, but he's a leader of these people. But there's no reason to be white.
There's no reason why they follow him. Yeah,
it was sort of like Apocalypse Now a little bit. Like, I thought
he's like a Colonel Kirk.
I thought so. Yeah.
But also the dad who takes them's also white. Why is he white?
Don't know.
Is it like a message? Is it like a message about like appropriation or something like that?
If an elephant steps on your head, do Do you survive that?
Well,
No,
only
and it's
one
a
side of
long
his face got
recovery.
it.
Just one side?
The sand protected the other side.
Oh, the
because if you
sand.
know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah, okay.
Sand, like whenever an elephant steps in your face.
As long as there's some sand, you're all right.
Wait, is that real? Oh! Because I was taking in that information. I was like, I'm going to tell somebody that later.
If you
If
ever
you're ever
seen
around
elephants,
Just get
make
your
sure
head
there's
in the
some sand.
sand.
It's the same backstory for Phantom of the Opera. It's exactly.
But now, I would imagine if he stayed in character, he'd be doing, I guess it would be like bipolar disorder. He'd be being very violent and then super goofy, like whoopee cushions and then slapping a kid in the face.
Why couldn't he answer the phone with that fucking Bluetooth that was attached to his head?
Yeah, he should have had it built in.
Like, what was that thing? That receptionist?
Did they tell us his backstory, like how he became the leader of this?
No, they just show him attacking the town. That's what I'm saying. And he attacks the town in traditional ethnic garb. So he's not coming in like as an American soldier or anything like that. He's already has this thing going on. And we don't even know why he wants Pakistan. It's just an island. Doesn't seem to be any, like, they only
It's
have
not fair to drill down on these kids' movies.
But now Ernie Reyes Jr. is being saved by his dad, who is his uncle. Spoiler alert. And then they bring him into like the Pakistan culture, and they go to the Pakistan restaurant, which is introduced with someone going, "Don't try the chicken," and you're like, "Oh, this is going to be like a really shitty restaurant." Nope.
No, it's not.
Not at all. Looks like actually a super professional restaurant.
It's like a good place.
Very busy.
Every
nice
dish looks
shows.
beautiful.
They even go into the kitchen, and I was like, "That's a really clean kitchen. Everything is really well plated. Like they're running it really well there." And then they reveal to Ernie Reyes Jr. that he's going to marry this beautiful girl. She approaches in a veil, and this is the most disturbing part of the movie to me. I believe the first line was, you know what they say about girls in a veil? If they wear a veil, do better bail.
Yeah, which is true. That's true.
Oh, dude, better bail.
Yeah. She doesn't show her face.
Then pick up the pace.
Like,
hightail
Yeah,
that.
leave,
get the fuck
leave.
out of here.
I thought it was like, fuck her quickly.
No.
Well, I guess it could go either way. Either run away or fuck her so hard she's pretty.
I don't fuck her so you have to be like, I wonder what she looks like. Just be like, I'm done, and then you're gone. And now as I said it out loud, I realized that I misunderstood it. I thought it was, if they wear a veil, do better bail. And I thought it was like an underage sex joke about being arrested for having underage sex. Like,
were you high when you watched this?
I rewound it twice. Be like, what does that mean? Do better bail. Do better bail. Do better bail? Like, he's gonna get arrested for fucking her? And now I said it out loud. I didn't talk to myself when I watched it.
But then doesn't Schneider have a good one at the end of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what was his? His was
It
like,
didn't rhyme. It was
Right.
like
Oh, that was his joke.
yeah,
It
it's
was
like she's wearing a veil. You better just go to bed. Or I don't remember what it was. It was something really stupid.
Is Rob Schneider here?
If he is, I'll tell him. This is bad. Very bad.
what do you think is going on in Rob Schneider's mind to say yes to this movie? He's on SNL, arguably like a recognizable guy from SNL. And, I'm sure that there's only a couple months to shoot stuff. Surf Ninjas comes across your desk.
I think he was like, "We're going to Thailand? Fuck yeah. Yes. Is there a giant staircase there? Yes. I love giant staircases."
So odd. It's so odd. I feel like they sold him a wrong bill of goods on this movie. I feel like he didn't know it was like children. He didn't know.
Wait a second. You have a lot of you have a lot of faith in Rob Schneider's choices? Is that what's going on here? You're surprised Rob Schneider?
There were so many other vehicles that he could have jumped on.
Look, based on his body of work, I'm like, why this one? You've always picked quality. So then they go to the restaurant, and then magic happens, right? Ernie Reyes Jr. has never done karate before.
Oh, yeah, then his leg starts wiggling. Ooh, I love that little leg.
I love that you got into his body and his. I mean, he's a man, like possessed by Taekwondo. But yet, I'm also thinking now, Adam, who has the Sega Genesis, which was so nicely built into the film, so organically placed in the movie. Oh, did I tell you that Sega financed the movie? Oh yeah, that's what happened. And that the screenwriter had to write sequences that would be good in a video game and a movie
that true?
simultaneously.
Yeah. That explains a lot. I wish I had known that prior to taking mushrooms and watching this.
Yeah. Sega financed the movie, and they began to develop the game at the same time. And then the game was released before the film. And I love that in the video game, Leslie Nielsen's character is like, we're going to send them to hell like their father. Like, the character is cursing in the game.
The best part of that Game Gear thing that it predicted the future or whatever it is, it was always like seconds before the thing happened.
Yeah, it was literally like looking at it's basically an iPhone.
Yeah.
You're looking at maps on your iPhone,
Yes.
but you can see the car that's about to hit you.
Yeah. It doesn't help you at all.
At all.
Yeah.
But it takes away some of the violence because when you watch two cops get their throats slashed, which did happen in this children's movie, on a video game screen, it's not as bad as seeing it in real life. Like, these two cops were fucking straight up Colombian necktied, but you saw it on a little Sega Game Gear screen. There was what I liked about this movie too is like at a certain point they definitely ran out of money because they're like, maybe in this sequence we'll do like the Indiana Jones effect where we'll show the plane going over the map. And the guy's like, great, how about we give you a little boat and you give you the map.
Drag it across.
And how about the boat that we put you on? We do the same way we did the surfing where you fucking stand in a parking lot and we'll just whip the camera around you. Like that boat is not going anywhere. That's my problem. I like real sailing.
I just thought of this. Ernie Reyes Jr. looks possessed by Taekwondo, but is Adam controlling him?
Oh.
Or is Adam just watching?
Huh.
Hold on, now none of this shit is funny.
Because it seems like I would say he was. Then why? Like I guess my question is, Adam then just has this Game Gear that he just watches and does nothing with.
But it builds up to the point where he actually looks out in the real world at those trees and he sees them. Great graphics, by the way. He sees them become surfboards, so he actually becomes a seer. So he realizes his power.
But yet, at the end of the movie, he goes back to the Game Gear to start controlling it again. He's like, it was cool when I saw stuff, but I'm going to go back to the thing I'm most comfortable with, the Game Gear. There's a gun and a Game Gear on the ground. He grabs the Game Gear. I would grab the gun. I would shoot the bad guy. I wouldn't rest my laurels on controlling a Game Gear version of the guy. Because then he starts controlling the other guy.
Yeah, you're getting way too deep for me. But I like for kids that for that moment when he looks at those trees and he sees surfboards, there's like one kind of pops up and then like another one, and then they probably figured like, but there are going to be some kids that are too dumb to get what we're doing. So then like surfboards like pop up closer and closer. So like even the like kids that were like born yesterday are like, oh, okay, yeah, you can make a surfboard out of a tree. Okay.
So then,
but then it cuts to a fucking expensive helicopter shot of like 40 dudes surfing.
No, not surfing, paddling.
Oh, paddling.
There was
Yeah.
no
Surfing.
fucking surfing in that movie.
But it was from a helicopter.
It was from
right?
a helicopter, yeah.
That's expensive.
Well, then, how
6
quickly did they chop down those trees? Like that would have been a month of work.
Ethnic people work hard. So.
They did it for half the price, and they did it twice the time. There's also a joke. Again, there's weird jokes in this, like where the kid falls in a hole and he goes, I found Waldo. And then like Tony Lopez is like, really? Wait, hold on. What? Why?
But then the joke is psych. Again, isn't that
Yeah, it was
because-
psych. It was
But
psych.
it's also like, really? The fictional character to like.
Well, because the 45-year-old
It's
guy
another
that wrote
reference,
it,
yeah,
it was
it's
like
another
what do
reference.
kids know about Waldo?
Waldo, fucking Waldo. Oh, we didn't talk about the sequence that drives the brother and the brothers to go.
Yeah.
Like when Les Nielsen comes in and basically he murders their parents.
Yeah.
And the uncle is telling them this story and they're rolling their fucking eyes. The
Oh
entire
yeah.
time.
The
I'm like,
whole
what?
that drives the whole movie.
Yeah,
they're bored to tears.
To tears.
They're leaning against that rock and they're like,
Come on! I'm
fuck.
like, your parents were
We
fucking
know.
murdered! Oh my god! Shut up!
We killed our parents. Our parents get murdered all the time. We want to
But I don't
surf.
think at that moment they believed it.
They believed it?
So they're
Okay.
like, this is just a story. Our dad's white.
But why was that guy? And why was that guy ever in Patusan?
It's wild.
Like that guy was
I
like a
don't know.
cook in Patusan?
Yeah, he's just chilling in a boat in that story. So he's just there.
Oh yeah, they said he was a
even-
sailor. They said he was a sailor that worked for them. But yeah, but he was the same age. Like maybe they just put like a clean shirt on him.
And so odd that he then comes to the States to open up a restaurant that of course is serve Patusan food, just like burgers and shakes. So he leaves his shipping world behind him to open like a cool diner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't react to the dad having finding out that they were adopted. Like, yeah, I found out I was adopted last night. And then they just move on from that subject.
Yeah, nothing really impacts people
No,
in this movie. When
no.
they're like, that's your uncle, they were like, great, uncle. And I was like, what? No.
Well, they take a swing at like a heartfelt scene on a couch at some point early on where the younger brother says like, hey bro, I'm feeling something, like I'm feeling like not so cowabunga or whatever. and the older brother goes like, everything's gonna be chill, dude. You know, like, so they kind of were
have
like
that moment, yeah.
trying to like, oh, maybe we should have him be sad, but let's not have him be too sad.
Yeah.
I'll also argue that for the romance in this movie, because I watch these movies for the romance, and I did not find there to be that much chemistry between.
No.
Those kisses were weird. There's
Those
a couple
kisses were
kisses.
weird.
Yeah, if I were
She's
him,
a bad kisser, or he's a bad kisser.
Don't put it on her. Come on.
I felt like she was coming in too aggressively, and he had to like kind of monitor for that. Like she's coming in like hard, and he's like,
well, more importantly, I was bummed out by the whole female empowerment bullshit message at the end, where she's like, I want to marry who I want to marry. I was like, fuck, this is Trump's America. You know, I was pissed.
well, but by the way, let's play that scene where she like drops some feminism on him here.
I know I talked a lot
Can
about
you-
marrying you and being queen and everything.
I know, no problem. As soon as we rescue my dad, I'll tell him, and then we can go
But
out.
Johnny, listen. Look, all my life,
Yeah, close
I've been
that
doing
umbrella.
everything that was expected of a traditional Patusani girl.
And?
Well, and who do my parents think they are? Telling me who I'm gonna marry. I mean, I'll decide who I'm gonna marry, not them.
Bullshit.
That is, if I marry. I mean, that was a really swell kiss and all, but I just didn't want to hurt your feelings about the marriage thing.
He is confused. Bad kiss.
Yeah, weird kiss.
We can still date, right?
He's really into it.
Okay.
Dude,
so
better
she
do better
was-
bail.
Are we sure he's 29? I don't
I
know.
think he's older, but I think she was like, I gotta play a little hard to get, so he works a little bit. So when he finally deep dicks me, it's worth it.
Right, she doesn't want him to be assuming that deep dick will come for free.
Yeah.
I buy that, but because she definitely like is a little bit like whatever she said to that team of guys that are going to, and I don't think this is a terrible thing to assume, gang rape her. Because she says
Well, I
something
don't
where all
know
the
if it's
guys are
gang
like, what?
rape if you're the one saying, come here. and we'll do this fun thing.
Yeah, she said, and he goes, what did you say to them? And she goes, don't worry, I'll tell you on our wedding night. So it was.
She's going to whisper to him, gang rape me.
I mean, I thought it was an odd. I felt
wedding
really like. I felt weird by it because I felt like she was young and those guys were way older. It was this movie has a lot of hard themes. Like if I brought my child to see this, I'd be like, how do we describe that scene? Okay. I wrote down that it was interesting that Playboys were in this movie. Smoking and Playboys, both in this movie. Something you would never see in a children's movie.
Well, the smoking comes in when he's throwing the unlit sticks of dynamite. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the smoking is like a hero. It's like Rob Schneider's throwing unlit sticks of dynamite, going like, I got one. And then they're like, light it. I don't have a lighter. I don't have a lighter. Somebody goes, here. The guy with the eye patch is like, I got one. Because I fucking smoke.
But then he also says,
you should always smoke.
no,
kids.
he says, I know I should quit. So it was like a message to America to quit smoking or save the world, your choice.
And then Rob Schneider looks into camera and is like, I can't do anything about it.
What does he say?
He's like, look who I'm talking to, or something like that.
He goes, you should try the patch.
Yes.
He has an eye patch.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That must have been right when the patch came out.
It also felt like, honestly, why did the director at that point, by the way, Rob, you were saying that you should be the teacher in the thing. That actually was the director.
Great guy.
Like, why did the director go at that point? Like, yeah, now we've passed the point of
It's the patch joke. Even the writer was like, we got to. This is too broad. We have to have him look at camera to cut the broadness a little bit. We're aware of it.
What child is going to go, I get that joke?
Yeah.
It's like the old-fashioned Warner Brothers cartoon. It works on two levels for parents and kids. The parents get the gang rape. The kids get the male jokes.
Yeah.
What about that clip of that little, like, they do a parade, a really shitty parade?
They phoned that fucking in. They phoned that in. They were like, look, guys, we're losing the light. We got 3 minutes to shoot a pretty big parade scene.
What does the music sound like? We don't know.
We haven't bought it yet. We don't know. It's going to be library music. We should talk about the music in this movie also.
Oh, my God.
The opening line of this movie is, turn that Van Halen down.
Not Van Halen.
It's not Van Halen. It's not even close to it's like the same, it's the director's friend's band.
Yeah.
Going like, I watched this movie with the subtitles on, and the lyrics are all like, we're gonna win the baseball game tonight.
I saved a little clip of one of them because it's like when they all are surfing on the beach, the music is amazing. Where is it? Oh my gosh. It's so like sweaty 80s rock from like a B-side of an album.
Brothers don't surf. Let's get back to the hood. Won't none of the homies fuck with me again.
All get in the ocean. Here we go.
Another day is done. Still the hunger burns inside of me.
Keep paddling, guys. Keep paddling. We don't have enough. Okay, I take it back. This was not a helicopter. This is just a cliff.
It's a 10-mile paddle.
I thought they surfed at one point. You're right.
At the end they surfed.
Okay.
Right before the shore.
It's the worst way to infiltrate. Like just a 40 people paddling.
I also forgot about that line that he's going to go back to the hood and nobody's going to want to talk to him. I was like, why? Because you did a sport?
Yeah.
No, I think they're not going to talk to him.
Surf.
I think they're not going to talk to him because he eats his police key and shits it out every week.
That was my favorite. Favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, that was
hands down.
I paused it and I wrote that down. I was like, I got to remember that joke. That's like a great.
Every Tuesday he eats his police key and then sifts through his own shit
He
and then
does.
eats it again.
Yes.
And then the young kid kind of grimaces there. He's like,
Why? What? Like he just like unlocked the handcuffs. He should have shit all over his hands. Like
All
what?
over.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
I mean, you could also just keep the key in your pocket.
Yeah.
Not gonna eat it.
And like a small, the wallets have those small little pockets. Just put it in there. Put it in your wallet.
But also, is he timing his shits? Like,
Yeah, it takes him a week. He eats it. He eats his shit every Tuesday.
And doesn't
So it
shit
takes
for
a
an
week.
entire week,
Yeah.
then digs through it with his hands
Yeah.
after he shits
I wanna
just
see-
to open the hand.
I like the way that Rogue One bridges the gap between, I guess, the Revenge of the Sith and Star Wars. I would like to see the bridging of the gap of Tolo getting on that boat and sifting through his shit. You're like, just him as a prisoner underneath the wall.
and it's wild that he's more concerned about everyone in the hood knows that he surfed than he like sifts through his own shit.
And by the way,
sure your friends wouldn't talk to you.
Who's gonna tell the people in his neighborhood that he surfed? I'm sure that's a secret that you could keep pretty quiet.
They're like,
no one's gonna sound like
all
on
of
the
his,
news.
all of it. He says, "My homies in the hood." Like all of his homies, like, we don't care, man. You fucking eat your shit. That's why we don't hang out with you.
We don't care because you're a cop now. You're above us. We hate you. Like kids.
There's no way this is Photoshop, is there?
Island. What the other thing? Oh, and then during that parade, they then cut to that girl. It looks like a clip out of a National Geographic thing. Like this little girl playing with a doll in like a hut. It's oddly like I was like, whoa, like that. Tonally, again, way off. Like that seemed like
That
a
felt
real
like-
homeless girl.
That felt like stock footage to me, where
That's what I thought.
where they were like, "Well, we need some more kids. I don't know, Steve, just fucking buy something, throw it in there."
She looked legit
Make fun like a
homeless.
starving like.
Or
child.
she's a great actress. I don't know. Let's talk about this final fight scene, and the only way I can talk about the final fight scene is to say Leslie Nielsen's dick. Did you guys catch how I felt like the end of the movie was Adam making Leslie Nielsen jerk off, but Leslie Nielsen grabbed such a nice handful of that dick that I was like, what is going on here?
The way you said that is so disrespectful to dead people, Paul. He grabbed such a nice handful of that dick.
Let's see, like, here, I just want because I. Wait, I just want to make. Okay. Do you see how big that dick is? Like.
It's a kid's movie. He's not gonna have a little dick.
And it almost appears like the dick is robotic too, because like, rare. It's a big, beefy Leslie Nielsen dick there.
Are we sure? I thought that was. I see. Watching it, I thought. I guess. Okay. Watching it, I thought it was his balls. But if you can rewind,
what I thought, but you could see the dick.
and you can see the balls. Look. They're almost to the left, like to the left, like our left.
Yeah.
There they are.
Yeah, you can like see his urethra.
I want this to be my screensaver. Oh, that is wow.
I wonder if he requested that. Like, guys, use the shot that makes my dick look huge.
Holy shit. Well,
This was method also, by the way. He really jerked his cock off.
let's go to the audience here to see if you guys have anything that we might have missed. Oh, we have a lot of questions so far. A lot of questions so far. Yes. Let me go to first hand I saw. Right, sir. Yes. All right. What's your name and your best Kwansu? I want to hear you really approach this audience and give them a nice Kwansu.
Kwansu, dudes!
Excellent.
Kwansu.
Question.
Okay, towards the beginning, or towards the middle, they show him sharpening what looks to be an electric knife.
Yeah. That's Leslie Nielsen is sharpening a knife to cut off a guy's dick, right?
Yeah, What is up with that? Why is he sharpening? It's a big whetstone. And he's just there sharpening.
Yeah, he's sharpening an electric knife. That's a good point. I just was more concerned about what he was going to do with that knife and go, this is a children's movie. That's a good point, a fair point. Let's see. Let me go back to it a little bit. All right, sir, your best Kwansu and your question.
Kwansu, dudes.
All right, okay.
Kwansu.
Kwansu.
How long before that gets old?
I was concerned with the transportation of goods in this movie. So they go
The transportation of goods.
to the island, but the dynamite that they have is bone dry.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the end, during the credits, when they have, the band set and the electric guitars, did they bring those ahead of time in anticipation?
Wait, I love how you frame this as transportation of goods. I have to get this into one big Venn diagram. It's transportation of goods.
Well, no, I agree with you. The movie is pretty solid except for that one point.
Everything else makes sense, but the logistics of how goods get from point A to point B.
By the way, when Rob Schneider is throwing that dynamite, and they're like, "You idiot, you gotta light it," that's a joke. But it's a bit of a funnier joke if he had just effectively thrown the dynamite, knocked somebody out, and killed a jeep full of people. Like, he was doing just fine.
All right. Yeah, he was doing good.
And maybe without murdering them, too. Just like pushing them off the road. The explosion actually just incinerated 24 human beings.
I'm looking at dueling notebooks here, and I like them both. What do you think? What do you think has the best notes? I'm going to go with you. You have a broken hand or something. You're injured. All right, that's your question.
And say Kwansu.
Of course. It's unspoken.
I'm sorry I shit on Kwansu.
Kwansu, dudes.
All right.
Kwansu.
I want to hear it. Guys, it's a big audience. We've got to sell the Kwansu.
By the way, do that anywhere else but in this room and you're not going to get shit.
I have a big issue with geography in this movie. So,
Okay.
in the beginning of the movie, they say that Hachisan is 13,000 miles away from LA, but it's impossible to be 13,000 miles away from anywhere in the world.
But other than that, the movie makes sense.
Yeah. So the circumference of the
Wait, what if you're up in space?
Well, so the circumference of the Earth at the equator is 24,901 miles. So the farthest that you can be from any two points is 12,450.
Amazing. That is amazing.
I love that the demographic for this podcast is like college professors.
Oh, you have another point? Well, you have another point. If it's as good as that one, I would now really think about it because you just scored so high. You're going back in. All right, let's see.
Yeah, you're about to get late. Don't fuck it up.
The boat sailing from the United States to Hachisan. They show it sailing from the East Coast. But we're not on the East Coast. We're in LA.
Wow, that's interesting too. That it's good. It is good. It wasn't as good as the first one though. Let it be a lesson. You quit while you're ahead. Yes, come on. All right, let's hear your Kwansu and then your question. Okay, thank you. Kwansu. All right, I'll hold the microphone.
Are we sure that there wasn't like a sequel that was coming and it was going to be like Rob Schneider's character was secretly the son of Leslie Nielsen's character?
Oh.
Write it!
Get in and pitch this movie.
So he really is a king, in a way.
Oh,
well, right, because Colonel, yeah, well.
Turn off the lights again. None of this is funny anymore.
Did you catch the kind of the innuendo when Rob Schneider was like, "I gotta wax my surfboard"? I thought he was gonna go masturbate.
I thought it was
the Skip and
I thought the joke was that his board was so covered in wax that that's all he did. Because the board was disgusting looking, as if all he did was all day just wax it up with cum. Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey. Ponzu, dudes. Ponzu.
Wait, did he say Ponzu?
He did say Ponzu.
Get the fuck out of here! Get out!
It was Quanzu. It was the best one that we've gotten, but totally wrong. Yes, sir.
Quanzu, dudes!
Good.
Quanzu.
Troy Kitty, I wanted to go back to the little kid controlling things because when they're in a restaurant, he gets to twist and choose a different animal, and he chooses the octopus. So it's like, oh, we're gonna see that he's gonna control an octopus. Then he has to find the octopus and then shoves it in the guy's face. Then he gets 500 points, and I don't know what the points are for.
He seems excited about those points.
Yes.
But you know what? I think the best way to kind of answer that question is talk to him. Adam, are you here right now? The gentleman who played.
What? Quanzu! Quanzu!
What a perfect segue.
Come over here. Come on over. Let's talk. I'm sorry. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Tell me your name again.
Nick.
Nick. Welcome, Nick. Thank you.
Nick.
Thank you for being a part of this. All right. First of all, let's hear about it. Where were you in your career when you got this movie? Was it like, was it the first thing for you? Let's walk through it a little.
Probably the first and biggest thing that is.
Okay. Were you psyched to work with Ernie Reyes Jr.? I mean, I'm asking that in an earnest way.
Absolutely. He was. Yeah, it's like a big deal.
Yeah, 100%. Anything now as you're an adult, you look back on it, you go, "Well, that was suspect."
A lot of the stuff you brought up, I didn't. Like Tone Loc shitting out his key week after week is pretty fun.
Now you have this benefit, which I think is the best part of it. It's like you have been in Surf Ninjas, but if you walk into a CVS, people aren't going to be like Surf Ninjas. So that's a good thing. That is a good thing.
Absolutely.
No, they would be like Quanzu.
That like all the time. I go into like grocery stores and yell.
When you drop that on a friend, a new friend, a girlfriend, is it something that you lead with, or is it one that you hold back? Because I would imagine I would hold back and then watch them like you're dropping
every time. Yeah. I used to like get to know people for a long time before, and if they brought it up themselves,
Wait, did you bring it up?
No, he did. I knew him for like a year and a half, and my mind just exploded. I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Quanzu, dude.
I will say this though, like in my 20s, I would kind of like use it on girls. Like,
and by the way, you should, and that was smart. All right, well, obviously we've talked about a lot of things. What was your knowledge of? Obviously, you were selling the Sega Game Gear. Did you get a free Sega Game Gear out of it?
Did, yeah.
Okay, good.
It's completely broken. Those things like.
Guys, don't get Sega Game Gears. Yeah.
Did you know that the movie was as a kid? Did you know that the movie was financed by Sega?
No.
Okay.
But now, did you understand what you were doing? Because obviously that was a question about. Were you I had a question. Were you controlling Ernie Reyes Jr.? Were you what do you know of what did you know? What and in your actor's mind at that point? And we're talking about the 12-year-old you. What was your assumption of that?
I thought I was controlling him. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
You were, and then you were almost controlling yourself when you selected octopus, because then you picked up the octopus, even though you are.
Yeah, that one's weird.
And who is controlling this?
I'm gonna have to say that.
Listener, I'm pointing to Leslie Nielsen's dick. Listener.
Was there talk
of a Surf Ninjas 2, like on set? Like, was that the plan, or is it just a one?
Around the time of like premiere and stuff, there was kind of like talk.
Bus. I would have liked to have seen it. We could have done a double feature tonight. Yes.
Oh, what was that Leslie Nielsen like?
Oh yeah, was he in character? Did he sing character?
I met him once because we don't really share any screen time. So I approached him to take a photo, and I think he thought I was probably just like an extra.
Wow. But did you hear from anyone else that he was in character, or is that just something that...
I've never heard that. No, that was news to me. If that's
But you did not have anything to do with the death of Leslie Nielsen.
No comment.
This is, well, I'm so excited that you came here. Do we have any other questions for Nick? Anything you want to share that we haven't asked that you think would be...
well, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do you surf? Do you know how to surf?
Are you a ninja?
No and no.
No and no.
They wouldn't pay for you to surf, huh?
I was afraid of the ocean.
Really? Did you even paddleboard? Did you get the paddleboard?
We tried to do like a scene of us coasting in. I couldn't do it. I'm like this big now, and I was that big then. So the ocean is a very scary thing.
By the way, you did a great job in the movie, man. Like, I really thought you were great.
I think my quick judgment of it is I have nothing to say about anyone's performance. The logic is where it is really, because like, I buy that you had a good relationship as brothers and stuff like that. My question is this, though. Tone Loc. Tone Loc comes on set. Is he, any memories, any Tone Loc memories?
It was really hot there. It was Thailand. It was humid, like really nasty humid. Yeah. And in between takes, he started singing a song about a mosquito being on his dick. It was like...
That means his dick's out. Just out.
I love it. Give it up for Nick. Thank you for this movie. Thank you for coming. You're the best. Holy shit. That was amazing. So, I don't think we could top Nick. I mean, none of your questions can top that. He was fucking there. He answered everything. That is awesome. Thank you so much for coming out. Now, before we get into the end of the show here, I want to say how the movie ends, which is, I think, one of the best things, because they reprise one of the classic hit numbers from the film, and it goes something like this. So they save the day. Everything is good, and where is it?
There are a few background people here in this scene that did not know what the fuck was going on.
The background people never did, like even after...
Well, this is Thailand, so I can imagine there's some... I mean, we're still confused about the movie ourselves, and we've been talking about it for 2 hours.
And we talked to someone who's in it. So this is how it ends. You think, wow, it's cool, they won, they saved the day. Leslie Nielsen's dick got ripped off. It's a great kids movie, and then...
As my future queen and I go off to take our SATs, remember, we're all created equal. Because I was born into royalty, I'm no different from you. Put my face on a stamp, 50-cent piece, and let's call it a day.
That's, by the way, a big ass.
I'm out of here.
Like, he's like, hey, I don't... He's like, oh, sorry. He's like, look, I don't want any accolades. Just put my name on a stamp or whatever.
Giving the government back to the people. It's like Baron Trump.
And here we go. So everyone's celebrating. And then the guy from the beginning is back. He loved that song so much.
They really leave it. Yeah, I don't know. They told him to go nuts in the scene.
This was his time to shine.
I would have said, like, Bill, take it down just a notch.
You got me rocking and a rolling, rocking and a reeling, Barbara Ann, Barbara Ann.
Look at the fucking elephant.
I wonder if they got a new elephant or if that's the same one that stomped on his face.
Oh my gosh. Well,
let's obviously we had an opinion about this movie, but there are people out there that had a different opinion. It is now time for second opinions.
The movie was a piece of shit, yet this person recommends it. Tell me what is the message? Maybe that art is subjective. I need a second opinion.
That was John LaJoie with his second opinion song. A beautiful second opinion song. These are 5-star reviews culled from Amazon.com for the film Surf Ninjas. This one we'll lead off with is written by someone calling themselves The Unknown Warrior. The title of the review is awesome, and it goes like this. One of the greatest Filipino movies in the universe. The surf ninjas are not really ninjas, but Filipino warriors. And the fictional country of Patusan is really the Philippines. Of course, Ernie Reyes Jr. and Robbie Schneider are Filipino. The world will never understand the true power of the Filipino warrior. We are like the air, and we are like the water. We are present, but unnoticeable. 5 stars.
My favorite part of that is just Robbie Schneider.
Robbie Schneider. This is written by Paul Jameson, and it goes like this. I guess this would be classified as a delightful fantasy full of youthful vigor. It's a pretty good guess. Pretty specific guess. I enjoyed it for what it was. Escapism. The main characters are young, handsome, that's to you, Nick, virile. Youths who defy convention, come out on top, and save the world to boot, all at the same time with a smile and a joke. It is, of course, ridiculous, but who cares? 5 stars.
Oh my God. It sounds like Tony Bennett wrote that review.
Yeah, why are adults, why isn't this children like, I like applesauce?
Mimi J got a little confused in her 5-star review. My son, now 34, loved the Three Ninjas.
So think how old this
So
mom
she's at
is.
least 50.
She wrote this July 16th. My son, now 34, loved the Three Ninjas movies growing up. And now his son, 3 years old, and his daughter, 10 years old, love it too.
Wait, the 3-year-old has a 10-year-old daughter?
Guys, you're missing the big part. She thinks
said
it's
Three Ninjas,
which is
a
another
different movie.
A movie called Three Ninjas. This is called Surf Ninjas. The movies are good, clean entertainment without any use of offensive language, not even any gray area, which is not found in many movies today. I highly recommend it for kids of all ages. I'm glad she didn't see this movie with the dick grab, rape scene, house explosions, throat slashing. And then finally, this is by a man calling himself Dorito. And it goes like this. Buy it! It's simple. Really, really simple. Buy it! If you have never seen the movie, don't worry. Buy it! You'll love it. I guarantee it. Or you love nothing. At least go to the video store and rent it. Then buy it! And if you're not gonna buy it, send me your money and I'll buy it for you and keep it for myself. If you see or hear anyone with a negative of this movie, it's really simple. They're wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong! 5 stars.
That one's perfect.
When was that review written? By the way, Nick, in my research here, it says Nicholas Cowan said that Leslie Nielsen was legitimately intimidating. You've been misquoted, my friend.
When was that last review written?
That last review was written
after Tone Loc changed his name to Dorito.
It was written in 2003. We'll go down the 10 years after the movie came out. So we'll go down the line, and I'll just ask. So obviously, we're watching this film for this purpose. There are some movies that we watch that are very good, that are fun to watch, fun bad. There's some that are not fun bad. What would you say, Gil? Is this movie you would recommend the audience listening to watch this movie?
Yes. It was fun. And bad. It was fun bad. Fun first, bad second.
I agree with that. I recommend it as well. Nicole?
I would recommend fast forwarding it until he takes off his shirt and watching it from there, because truly you get the whole story. You're like, all right, surf ninjas, they're fighting a white man, great.
Well, let me ask you this, you don't have to answer it. But because Ernie Reyes is of age now,
Yeah.
could you
Would
have
I?
a fantasy of Ernie Reyes?
Why do I have to have a fantasy? Why can't I just fuck him? I'll
Fair
find him! Nick, where is he?
Nicole will be available after the show. You can tell her where he is. Rob?
To be honest, Paul, I prefer the book.
I know that, and if you do prefer the book, you can definitely get the novel, Surf Ninjas the novel, available on Amazon.
It's so fucking funny.
On Amazon, written by A.L.
Do you
Singer.
have that in case I said that?
I
Are you controlling me with a Sega?
I have a Sega Game Gear underneath the chair here. It doesn't work great, but you can get it on Amazon for 1 cent used. And they got 21 copies
Can you
still
click
left.
on the author's name? Oh, is that on the link?
It's just a screen
Oh, I
grab,
wanted to
yeah.
see
And
what
there's
else
one
he's written.
review. I'm dying to know what that review is.
I wish.
A.L. Singer.
And by the way, just so you can see, Nicole, this is Ernie Reyes now and then.
Yeah, you can still get it.
He's got it. He's got it, and he'll keep it. All right, so we all recommend it, except for Rob, who prefers the book. Let's, obviously, if you have an opinion, we'd love to hear from you. You can call us at 619-PAUL, P-A-U-L, ASK, A-S-K, 619-PAUL, ASK, and you can leave your own opinions about the movie, anything that we didn't cover. If you're Ernie Reyes Jr., if you're the director, you can call that number as well.
If you're Rob Schneider, please stop calling.
But let's talk about what you guys are up to. Thank you guys for joining us in the How This Get Made All-Stars. Rob, what do you got coming up? Do you want to tell people about?
We're starting a new season of Transparent pretty soon.
Yep.
In February. And I'd plug that.
And right now, when the audience is listening to this, Drive Share will be available on Go 90.
That's right. You and I did a TV show called Drive Share. Both of these people are in that TV show.
Yes, they are. Very funny in that show.
It's all, it's just funny people in Ubers. That's how it is, right?
Yeah, it's funny Uber rides.
Yeah, it's funny Uber rides.
130 different Uber rides.
Yeah, we shot it in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Nicole, talk to us. What do you got?
What isn't happening? No, I'm kidding. My life's really slow right now, but you can watch Loosely Exactly Nicole on Hulu and MTV.com.
It's a super funny show.
Thank you. I think
really
it's really
enjoyed-
funny. Who knows if we'll get a second season? MTV's a mess. I'll say that because it's true.
It's true. It started off, Rob and I did a show there. It was a mess back then.
Yeah, it's
we
pretty messy.
did a show paired with 3-6 Mafia. You know, they were great. A real fun sitcom-y show with 3-6 Mafia, followed by Human Giant. Really, two great tastes that go great together. Gil?
I just wrote for a show called Big Mouth. for Netflix that's coming out soon, so look out for that.
Well, who's in that? What's that?
Nick Kroll, John Mulaney are in it. And I don't know, my Snapchat, I guess.
I think, by the way, you should plug the Snapchat. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
they can follow you, and what is
Gil
it?
Ozeri, yeah.
Okay. This is his name. Follow him, and
Follow
it's
me.
legitimately the funniest thing you'll see, and ridiculous production value.
There's a lot of production value. I don't get how you do that. It's awesome.
Gil is my friend. I felt nervous to even ask him about certain things because I felt like I was fanning out about his Snapchat. That's how impressive the things are. I'm like, wait, how did you do that though? How did you get to LAX? Because it's insane. Yeah, it's amazing. He literally put himself in a suitcase in one of them and traveled from his house with his head out of a suitcase all the way to LAX and got super far into LAX.
Yeah, didn't you get put on the conveyor
Yeah, I
belt?
got put on the conveyor
Which
belt.
is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
And everyone just acts like it's so, they're perfect.
Yeah, no, it was
They're
a
also on
TSA
Instagram.
agent who put
They're
me
so
on there.
funny.
Yeah. It was.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's why a man checked a gun and shot people in Florida. Because they're doing your silly Snapchat!
Sorry.
You can follow us at How Did This Get Made on Twitter or just HDTGM. And on Facebook, sign up for our mailing list. A big thank you to Avril Halley, who cuts all of these amazing clips, finds all of these great pieces. Nate Kiley, who does all of our research. July Diaz up in the booth. Marissa Zeitz, who pulls this whole thing together. Leanna Waldron, who designed some of our cool stuff. Everybody here at Largo, everybody here at Earwolf, thank you all. We'll see you next time.
That's it for our show. Make sure you tune in next week for our mini episode where you get in on the act. You can give us a call at 619-PAUL-ASK, 619-PAULASK, and leave your comments and suggestions about what we might have missed from Surf Ninjas. Also, just a reminder, check out Blake J. Harris's brand new podcast called Origin Stories, available on HAL and Stitcher Premium. It is well worth the wait. I'll tell you why. He finds out who kills JFK in the second episode. Yeah, so definitely check that shit out. I love you so much. Go to go90.com and watch Drive Share. I've already said that once in the show. I'm just saying it again. So we got so much to tell you. Give me a call at 619-PAUL-ASK or leave a comment on the message board for our mini episode next week. Bye-bye.
This has been an Earwolf production. Executive produced by Scott Aukerman, Chris Bannon, and Colin Anderson. For more information and content, visit earwolf.com.
Liam Neeson versus Leslie Nielsen, Ernie Reyes speaks, and just how many batteries did you actually need to make that Game Gear work? The answers to all of this and more on today's How Did This Get Made mini episode. Hit the theme.
Are you still surprised? Don't you think it's wise to listen when you're told? Children's doing fine, but motherhood's full time. So get it, got it, get it through your thick hair, your thick skull. It's a mini episode. Gotta get it through your thick hair, your thick skull. It's a mini episode. All right.
What's up, dum-dums? It's me, Paul Scheer, and that was Carrie Q, who just created that amazing opening theme song for us. If you want to create a theme song for us, just, post it on SoundCloud, send us a tweet, let us know that you created something, and we'll play it. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's our rules. We'll play anything. So get on it. Here's the deal, people. This is a mini episode where I tell you all the info that you need for next week's podcast. And we go back and figure out all the things that we might have missed from last week's episode, which, of course, was the classic surfing ninja tale, Surf Ninjas. But first, let's hear from you. You ask me Q's, I give you A's. It's time for the Explanation Hope Line.
didn't understand it, no. Oh, I had no clue of where to go or what to do. Couldn't ask Bill or Tamara. I know that you can solve it, Paul. How can you explain this to? I'll need you to help me through. Oh, you know it all, and this is no foreign movie.
Oh shit, I love that. Jack Lechner. Wow, that was amazing. Great job on that explanation Hopeline theme. All right, here's the deal. You call me at 619 Paul Ask. That's 619 PAULASK. It's not Paul Ass. I told you I disabled that line because it was getting to be inappropriate. I like to talk sexy and kind of sweet, and you guys were leaving me vulgar, disgusting things on Paul Ass, okay? I am a sensitive, sensual, erotic person, not just a wham bam, talk to me about butt stuff, ma'am, okay? Anyway, I don't want to get into all that. I want to get into what you guys have to say. Let's hear our first phone call from our good friend Ryan. Ryan, take it away.
Hey, Paul, long-time listener, first-time caller. This is Ryan from Florida. Just wanted to know what the obsession of our culture was with ninjas back then. For Surf Ninjas, we had Three Ninjas, Ninja Turtles. Did this start with Karate Kid? Or how far back did this go where everything had to be ninjas? And then what happened to it? We just got ninja'd out? Is it going to be like superheroes where we're just going to get oversaturated with ninjas? Just curious about your thoughts. Thanks.
Dude, you are totally right. We went bonkers for ninjas. I feel like there are moments in culture where something just comes out of nowhere and then everyone's like, we need this. We love this. I don't know when that's happening. Yes, superheroes, they've always been around, but people now are really, really into superheroes. I would say like sushi definitely had like a big explosion at one point where people are like, what, sushi? I mean, obviously it's been around forever then, but people are like, no, but it's sushi. Burritos, I believe, in my lifetime have really popped onto the scene. So I guess in the world view, ninjas, burritos, sushi, and superheroes all have had a moment of bowls. Things in bowls. We never used to have things in bowls that were supposed to, not be in bowls. Unbowl-like things. This is what... But only ninjas. I don't know. When I was a kid, when all this stuff was coming out, ninjas were the fucking coolest. I played Shinobi. You played these video games. Ninjas just seem like a badass. Now, it's all about Call of Duty, and we're just blowing people away. No need for stealth, really. You just blow people's heads off. That's all you need. Well, thank you. I don't know if superheroes will be going on the outs anytime soon, but maybe bowls will. Maybe we'll stop putting things in bowls. Or we'll elevate bowls and make a movie starring like a Chipotle bowl. I would love a Chipotle bowl movie. Oh, finally. We're making an emoticon movie. Oh, God. An emoticon movie? Do we really need that? Do we really need emojis as a movie? No. Don't be worried. I am still making my Bitmoji movie, which is going to be better than Moana. But emoji movies, really? 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 Okay. There's so much storied history around emojis. Oh, boy. All right, I'm going to get off my high horse here. Here we go. This is our friend Mike, who seems to be having a great time.
Paul, guys, hi. My name's Mike. I live in LA. I'm 30. I remember loving Surf Ninjas as a kid. Totally forgot about it until the episode. And it made me realize that there's something I say all the time that I got from that movie subconsciously. But it's, no, money can't buy knives. You guys have to tell me what you thought about that whole exchange about whether or not money could buy knives. All right, thanks.
Mike, I fucking love you. I love that you were just, like, it sounded like, I don't even know, like, you just were calling, having a great time. I don't remember that line at all. I have a moment of June in here, but I love that there was a line, money doesn't buy knives, because it does. And actually, that would be the only way that you could get a knife. I mean, besides getting to a battle with somebody and taking their knife off of them, or finding it in the woods, after a serial killer dropped it. There's other ways to find knives, but money definitely does buy knives. And I want to go back and watch that movie again just to hear why that line tickled you so much. Thank you, Ryan. Please call back with the same level of excitement. All right. This is a good question coming up here that I feel like no one's really ever asked.
Oh, buddy, this is Dustin. I got a question for you. So when you guys were talking about Surf Ninjas, and you were saying that Leslie Nielsen was in it, for some reason my brain translated that to Liam Neeson. So when I watched the movie, I was expecting Liam Neeson in that role. And it got me to thinking, what other Leslie Nielsen movies would be made way better with Liam Neeson acting his part? Appreciate the answer. Thanks, buddy.
Look, I would love to see Liam doing Leslie's parts, but I think it would be better the other way around, because basically Leslie Nielsen has been in a lot of comedies, a couple episodes of Love Boat. I think he was on an episode of 227. Remember 227? Oh man, Marla Gibbs. Ooh, sweet Marla Gibbs. Anyway, yes. So if you put Liam Neeson in, let's say, like Naked Gun, it would just become a serious cop drama. So that's what I think would happen there. Although I'd like to see, I guess I would really like to see Liam do like really goofy ass comedy. Like, that would be, let's get him in like a scary movie or something like that. But if we flip it the other way, let's have Leslie Nielsen in Taken, and then, like trying to get the gun and the gun falls apart, breaking someone's neck, but then, they fart. I think that would be also a good way to do it. I'd like to see Leslie and Liam's parts more than Liam and Leslie's parts. That's just me. Anyway, Kurt, don't break my heart. What do you got?
Paul, this is Kurt, Massachusetts. I love the remix theme, but if I'm hearing the lyrics right, it's Paul and June are getting literal, Jason's getting laid, June is making sure all the monkey shine's getting paid. And it bothers me that you don't get your own line. Your line is shared with June, and then she gets her own line later. Am I hearing the lyrics wrong? Or can the next remix have a Paul line, a Jason line, and a June line? That's it. I got nothing else.
Motherfucker, Haru, you screwed me over. I didn't even realize that until you brought it up. Now I'm gonna have a terrible day because I never realized I got shanked. I got shanked in this remix song. God damn it! God damn it! Oh man, Haru, where are you? Does anyone know Haru? Can we get him to write us another remix? We have a bunch of great songs that can't wait to play. As a matter of fact, I'm going to play a song for you right now. We haven't done an in-studio episode in a little while. We're going to remedy that in a little bit. But here's a song that I've been dying to play. Here you go.
I'll also say this. The gauntlet has been thrown. Anybody can record a theme song. 100%. We will likely put it on the show. Structured like a romantic comedy between a man and a child.
We didn't even talk about the little remote
First of all, I didn't know what the fuck it was.
It's a mission. What? It's a mission.
And I may be revealing too much about myself, but what exactly, and I know I think you answered it a couple minutes ago, but what exactly is a Street Fighter?
There is multiple Bush in this movie, guys.
What makes them mutant? No, I know the ooze does, but what about them is mutant?
He's full-on jerking it.
Jerking it back and forth. Write it down. Control, Alt, S. Save it. Save it.
When he was evil, when he was his doppelganger, and Ernest was Jim Varney, he was hot. He was as fuck. Yes, I agree.
How did this get made? Isn't that fucking awesome? That is Diamond Manhunter. Diamond Manhunter with a theme that incorporates some of my favorite clips from the show. Well, hopefully we'll be hearing more of that. Thank you, Diamond Manhunter. And we have more. I'm going to start playing them here, because why not? Let's talk to our good friend, Stefan, who found out something very interesting about these Surf Ninjas novels.
Hi, my name is Stefan, and I just listened to your Surf Ninjas episode. And when you brought up the novel, I went to Amazon to search it. And you said on the episode that it was used 1 cent. Now they're going for like $64, and the most expensive ones are like $1,000. I wonder if they did that because you mentioned it, and now people are like, hey, I might be able to get some money out of this. I don't know. Just something I thought was kind of funny. It's not that funny.
Holy shit. I just figured out a new source of income. We should just be reviewing these movies and jacking up prices. So what I guess that would require is this would be like an Ocean's 11 heist of lame pop culture. We buy like all the Surf Ninjas books, then we do it on the podcast, and then we upsell it, and we just make a fucking fortune. Who would pay $1,000 for a Surf Ninjas book? Probably the coolest person in the world. If you have bought a copy of Surf Ninjas for over like he said, $64, please let me know. Leave me a message at 619-PAUL-ASK and tell me what it's like to have a $70 paperback novelization of Surf Ninjas, and I will give you a Kwanzaa, dude. I don't even know if I remember that right. Is that right? Kwanzaa? I think it is. All right, anyway, that is all right now. For the Explanation Hope Line. That was a good one. I want to hear from you again, but if you already left a message and we didn't play it, that means it's going to be erased from existence. That's right. It's gone forever. You know, I do want to bring out one thing. A few people brought up the fact that Mitch Hurwitz was in Surf Ninjas. Yes, he absolutely was. I have nothing really funny to add, nor anything to get to the bottom of. But yes, he was in there with Jim Valley, who he works with often and was one of the big writers with him on Arrested Development. I don't know why they were there. I feel like they might have just, who knows, walked by set. At that point, they could have just walked by set. I feel like this is the type of movie where people visited and they're like, yeah, get in there, be a guy. So we'll get to the bottom of it with Mitch at one point. Maybe Blake can track him down. Speaking of Blake, we have some more oral histories of Surf Ninjas coming up. We're going to be talking to Ernie Reyes Jr., and we're going to be talking to Nick Cowan, who plays Adam in Surf Ninjas. That's coming up in just a little bit in the show. Want to let you guys know that if you have not signed up for our mailing list, please do so. It's so much fun. We give you exclusive information. We just sent out our first LA mailing, so it's exclusive information to people in LA. I also want to let you know that DriveShare, my show that I created with Rob Hubel, is on Go90. Go90, totally free platform. Just go to go90.com, look up DriveShare. There's 30 episodes with some of your favorite people: Adam Pally, Andrew Daly, Scott Aukerman, Paul F. Tompkins. You name it, we got them. They're all in there. I think you'll really like it. Like I said, 30 episodes, about 70 different rides. DriveShare, go90.com. And Clusterfest. We're going to be going to Clusterfest, which is a big, amazing comedy festival. Kevin Hart, Jerry Seinfeld, Ice Cube doing music, How Did This Get Made, Chris Gethard, Two Dope Queens, so many great people up at Clusterfest. Go to clusterfest.com, find out information there. And if you're in Austin and going to come to our Austin shows, we have information coming there about another little thing that we're going to be doing while we're there. And also, Jason, June, and I will be at the ATX Festival. That's the Austin Television Festival. We're not doing How Did This Get Made, but we're going to be doing shows. I'll let you all know about all this, but just giving you some information here. So, before we get into more interviews, there's a part of the show that we keep at the end of the show, but I wanted to kind of move it up here because I feel like we're not getting as much stuff in the mail. Here's the deal. You send us cool things, and we open up our mailbag. You can send us stuff at Earwolf Media, LLC, 5629 Hollywood Boulevard, Suite 66, Los Angeles, California, 90028. You can just send it to How Did This Get Made, and we'll open it. And this week I wanted to highlight this thing that was amazing. It was sent to us by Josh Ferguson, and it is a paperback book called The Movie Reference Book. I'm going to take a picture of this, and it is a comprehensive illustrated guide to the actors and actresses from movies of today and yesterday. 697 photos of your favorite stars. Now, it's just an encyclopedia of, like, headshots and action shots. So I guess it would be, if you were watching TV, you'd be like, oh, who's that actor? And then you kind of scroll through until you saw their face and be like, oh, yes. Robert Redford. Also, like, Robert Redford playing tennis next to Paul Hogan. This is an amazing, amazing book that someone at, it's crazy to me that someone made this book. It's just a picture book. I gotta put up pictures online. Check this out on our Twitter. We'll put it up on our Twitter there. So definitely check out the movie reference book. And thank you, Josh Ferguson, for finding something so weird and dumb and giving it to us. Okay, now, no further ado. Last week we saw Surf Ninjas. And we're going away from the world of surfing, and we're going into the world of extreme medical transplants. That was a terrible transition. There's no connective tissue there. I didn't even try. Yes, we are talking about a little-known movie called Body Parts. Body Parts, a movie starring Jeff Fahey. IMDb describes it as simply this: when Bill Cruikshank loses his arm in a car accident, the arm of an executed death row inmate is grafted on its place. The only problem, as Bill soon discovers, is that the arm is possessed by a force that he cannot control. That's right, this guy's got a serial killer's arm, and guess what it does? If you guessed serial kills, you would be wrong. Anyway, here, listen to the trailer.
There's nothing to worry about. Everything's going to be just fine. You lost your arm in a car accident yesterday. We've transplanted another arm for you.
How does it feel to have someone else's arm? Dad, it's sort of gross.
Well, that's not how it looks. It's how it works, right? I think there's something the matter with me. Oh, it's the arm.
You have this guy's arm. You don't have his personality.
You put a killer's arm onto my body and you didn't tell me.
That arm can't do anything you don't want it to.
How do you know that?
Maybe you got some kind of demon inside of you these days.
I hit my kid. I tried to strangle my wife. I have nightmares every night. I want to fix my mom!
Take the kids and go to your mother's.
Don't pack, just go now!
Body Parts.
We're making history here.
Oh, you are in for such a treat. I just watched this last night. This film is available on YouTube, Amazon Video, and Google Play, all for $2.99. Also on Cinemax, if you have a subscription to that, it's like Cinemax On Demand. So definitely check out Body Parts. I rented it last night on iTunes, and I don't regret a single second. It's also short. It's mercifully short. I can't wait for you to see Jeff Fahey playing another fucking classic role right up there next to the Lawnmower Man. All right. So I teased this a little bit earlier, but Blake Harris has a brand new amazing series where he really goes deep, does a deep dive, if you will, with a lot of the people we have talked to in the past. His series, Origin Stories, is right now available on Stitcher Premium and Howl, and you can definitely listen to that. Full interviews. Here are two snippets. We're going to play one now and one a little bit later in the episode from two actors in the Surf Ninjas franchise. So take it away, Blake.
Hey, Paul. So I know this sounds kind of odd to say, but after putting together those interviews for How Did This Get Made? Origin Stories, as you so wonderfully enunciated, I think that I might actually be the world's leading historian when it comes to surf ninjas. And that is an honor that I will always cherish and will happily pass on to the next Surf Ninjas historian who outdoes me and us. Anyway, so we heard from screenwriter Dan Gordon last week about how the film came together, so I thought today for the mini we should hear from the stars of the film, Nick Cowan and Ernie Reyes Jr. Listeners already know Nick a little bit. He appeared at the end of the Surf Ninjas episode, and I thought it'd be fun to share a little bit more of his story about his background, starting with how he got into the business. What made him want to become a child actor? Well, here's Nick telling us exactly what made him interested.
Yeah, well, it was absolutely something I wanted to do. Okay. It was never pushed upon me. It was never even brought up. I just think I believe I started officially when I was 8. And I was raised with by my grandmother and my mom, and so my grandma was always home. And I think I told her one day I think I want to do that. Like I was watching television and I saw some kids and I'm like, can I do that? And she said, well, is this something you really want to do? Is this like, would you like to try it? And I said, yeah, I would love to. So she got on it and did the research and figured out how to get agents and I don't know, she figured it out somehow, and I auditioned for agents and pretty quickly was on a roll with auditioning.
That's awesome. And what was your favorite part, prior to Surf Ninjas? It's definitely a pretty big break. Like, what was your favorite performance or your favorite aspect of the whole process?
I liked, I did an episode of a TV show called Paradise, which was a Western.
Okay.
And, as a kid, I've always, as an artist now, I was always into, like, the behind-the-scenes aspects of filmmaking, but especially, like, costume design, makeup design, that whole thing. So to be in a period piece and play a Native American was pretty cool because, you get to go to a special costume warehouse and they try on all these things and they're filming out on a ranch where they made up a whole village, and that was pretty exciting for me personally, just because that's kind of one of the best things for me as an actor, thinking you could be anything from any time period, or even things that are made up. So I was pretty excited by that whole process of, like, had to learn a couple words in another language, So that was pretty awesome.
That's really cool. And what was your least favorite part?
I think you kind of brought it up earlier, just the rejection aspect of it. I don't think, it's not like devastating, but when you go out for something and you don't hear back, and then you see it and you see who got it, and you're like, oh, I kind of, I could have done that.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of, every once in a while you find out too, like, certain things you didn't get later on. Well, here's the story. Like, I found out relatively recently that I was actually offered the part of the kid in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Really? Wow.
But my family opted out because it was kind of, a little blue, a little rated R.
Yeah.
But I had no knowledge of this until, a year or two ago. And so that was that's a major movie to have been in. Had I been in it, you could get to work with Robert Rodriguez and Harvey Keitel and Tarantino. And all the big guys. So that's kind of a sad thing. When I look back at it, I was like, oh, it's too bad.
Later on in the conversation, Nick and I dug into his experiences on set. In particular, I wanted to hear about how much surfing and how much ninja-ing he was actually involved with. Here is Nick talking about his experiences on set and the stunts and the surfing aspects of the film.
There was fight scenes, obviously, that were choreographed by Ernie and his dad, Ernie Sr.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had a lot of their people there, but they also were training a lot of extras that they just picked up in Thailand, like people off the street. It seemed like a lot of a lot of the stunt guys are just. Actually, if you notice in the background, a lot of them are not kind of just play fighting. But some of them, they were teaching them to kind of like react and flip. So some of those flips and things are a little like exaggerated, but I don't know. It kind of adds to the exaggeration of the film itself.
Yep.
And as far as the surfing, all the surfing shots were shot in a unit in Hawaii. So, we didn't really have to do that at all.
Oh, awesome.
I can't surf at all, and I'm frankly afraid of the ocean. So, and especially being as small as I was then, we tried to do a couple shots of like kind of coasting in, and I was not about it, so we didn't really have to do that.
Nick obviously had a great time filming the movie, but I was curious to hear more about what happened afterwards. When he tells the story, there was so much excitement for Surf Ninjas. People thought it was going to be such a hit. The timing was so great with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles around that period. Obviously it's lived on pretty well, but, it was a disappointment at the box office. So I was wondering what that was like to go through and what the release was like at the time.
Well, okay, so this is it being not the best movie of all time, I think there was a little disappointment in it coming out for me, only because I thought it was good, and I think a lot of the people making it thought it was good. There was even talk about a potential sequel or possibly like a cartoon type of thing.
Yep, for sure.
I think it suffered a bit in terms of promotion and marketing, because there wasn't really any. I saw a commercial maybe twice, and I saw maybe a few billboards scattered around town, but they didn't really promote it well. And I think that was at a time period where New Line Cinema was changing hands, so I kind of fell through the cracks a bit. Because,
that sounds right.
I feel like it could have done better with better promotion, because there was that Ninja Turtles fan base built in.
Yep.
And so, it is what it is, but at the time, I kind of expected it to do better. So I think the signs were like, that it maybe wasn't going to do well when the premiere was being put on by the Reyeses in their hometown with their own money.
Wow.
So, and God bless them for doing that, That was pretty awesome of them to put it together. And that was cool because, they have a huge chain of karate schools up in San Jose where they're from. So they, people love them in that town. So there was, a great crowd of people coming to see that film at this premiere. And so it felt really good. It felt really nice. They did it justice.
Good. I'm glad that they did.
And then, of course, I watched it a few times with some friends just because.
That was Blake Harris, and here's the thing. There's going to be more of that coming up in just a little bit. He'll be talking to another actor from the film, and I think you'll really enjoy it. But now, forget about Surf Ninjas, or no, actually, don't forget about it. Think about it really hard, because now you're going to tell us all the things that we didn't realize or got wrong in a little section we like to call Corrections and Omissions.
We're sorry to tell you that you were wrong, and here's some things you just didn't touch on. So check your facts before they become corrections and omissions.
That is a great Corrections and Omissions theme, but that was before we started keeping track of who wrote what. So whoever wrote that, you did a great job. Sorry, I don't know your name, and we'll fix that. We're trying to fix that. We're trying to keep track of everything. It's a one-man operation over here. Jason and June, they just show up for the shows. I'm trying to keep track of a lot of stuff. Kelly Alto, who's helped me out, she's trying to do it. It's a lot. It's a lot. So sorry that we sometimes forget people's names, and we forget to write them down. Anyway, let's get into a name that I often see on the boards here. Mr. Tom Spanks. Mr. Tom Spanks writes, earlier in the movie, when the little brother first discovers that his Game Gear shows future events, he asks, "Where's Shinobi?" referring to the Shinobi game. But it is shown that he has been playing Columns instead. I guess he could have switched the cartridges, but why would anyone mess with the game once you find out that the current setup can show you the future? Well, yeah, look. Kids will be kids. That's what I always say. I always say kids will be kids. Even if you show them the future, they still want to play Shinobi. Shinobi, going back to our ninja obsession, this kid was obsessed with ninjas. Maybe it was about surf ninja obsessed kids. They kind of surf. They're definitely not ninjas, but they're obsessed with ninjas. I don't know. Odd that they didn't want to plug Columns, the game that all kids want to play. Yeah, Columns. Dad, can you get me Columns? Remember Dr. Mario? It was like a dumber version of Tetris. Oh boy, Dr. Mario. I don't like it. I feel like I only played Tetris on my little Game Boy. Oh man, good old days. Anyway, here's a person, Kata Cola, who writes, the Game Gear notoriously was a battery drainer. Per Wikipedia, Game Gear was designed to be technologically superior to the Game Boy, and here's where it actually paid off in battery life. The Game Boy could run for more than 30 hours on 4 AA batteries. The Game Gear required 6 AA batteries and could only run for 3 to 5 hours. 6 AA batteries for only 3 to 5 hours? Was this little brother carrying around a shitload of batteries? Well, Katie, I mean, good point. But I'm going to just go once it's telling you the future, do you think it's still running on batteries? Do you think that the future, I just thought look, the Game Gear probably never even turned on. He was probably him just seeing, he didn't need that Game Gear. It was like in a movie, like when they go, hey, you didn't need those things because you actually had it inside you the entire time. I don't know what that movie is specifically, but Superman didn't need a cape to fly. This kid didn't need the Game Gear. It was a crutch. There was no batteries in it. He didn't even know what game he was playing. It's like Legion. That's what's going on. This is like a precursor to Legion over here with Kata Cola. No batteries, but I would love if Tone Loc was just like the designated battery carrier. Like, hey, detective, can you carry this fucking bag load of batteries? This is before Amazon too, so batteries are way more expensive. By the way, buy all your batteries on Amazon. They're great. It's cheap, and you get them. You keep them in your house. You feel so good about yourself. Anyway, first-time caller, long-time listener writes, Rob Schneider was 30 when this came out. Ernie Reyes was 21, and Kelly Hu was 25. I had to look that up because Rob Schneider looks so out of place. But knowing these ages, I still found the scene with Kelly Hu luring 3 guys into the bushes and then saying, "You'll find out on our wedding night," to be highly inappropriate for a 15-year-old character in a kid's movie. Yeah, so did we, first-time caller. Even though it was a 25-year-old saying it, which, yeah, okay, well, it does make a difference. She was playing 15. Also, I think there was another movie in the Surf Ninjas universe. During the breakfast scene, Nick Nolte asks Rob Schneider if his parents ever ask him where he is, and he says his parents are sealed in a biosphere in Arizona. So I'm thinking the movie Biodome is a prequel to Surf Ninjas, and one of the main characters is Rob Schneider's dad. And you know who that main character would be? Fucking Pauly Shore. He's not Brendan Fraser's kid. He is definitely Pauly Shore's kid. I never saw Biodome. Do they get out at the end? I imagine that they do. And I imagine they didn't get anything done. I love that it's Three Ninjas, Surf Ninjas, and Biodome are the movies that all connect here. Okay. Cambert, always up for a good gaffe, writes, the thing that annoyed me about Leslie Nielsen's costume, cultural appropriation aside, is they didn't spend maybe like an extra 30 minutes to try to make it look real. They didn't cover the area surrounding the eye with any sort of makeup to make it blend in with the mask, which would mean his face crush was remarkably, the eye and the surrounding area was just pristine. Same goes for the bottom part of his lip. There's just like a gap because the makeup didn't fit. Also his hair, the metal plate on his head just sits atop of his hair like a cap, a problem that could have been solved just by parting his hair where the prosthetic met the hair, a little makeup and some hair combing. Seriously, 30 minutes and the makeup would have looked much, much better. The worst part is they gave him a non-functioning metal ear. Way to go, Cambert. Yeah, I would say, well, probably Leslie Nielsen's like, just put the fucking thing on me, let me go out and do my thing. But he was also going full method on this, so I'm very concerned about why he didn't just get a little bit more makeup. By the way, wouldn't you think the makeup artist would be like, let's do it? Maybe they told him like every day he'd have to be in the chair for like 15 more minutes, or 30 as you hypothesize here. And he was like, nah, fuck it. It's a kid's movie. Who cares? But you know what? It would have looked so much more gruesome if they just made him, or they ripped off his face at one point, giving you a little bit of that Darth Vader, Return of the Jedi, spoiler alert, I'll give you a spoiler alert for Return of the Jedi. Like that, like the fucked up face. I would have liked to have seen his fucked up face. We got to see those bulging cock of his, which I'm also questioning, was that a prosthetic penis? I think it might have been. Fister Roboto. Oh, Fister. We got into it this week on the message boards, didn't we? You called me out for something, and I was like, boom, take a look at these screen grabs. You're going to eat your words when you watch Body Parts, my friend. All right, Fister writes, the song about the mosquito on Tone Loc's dick that Nicholas Cowan talked about is actually called There's a Skeeter on My Peter.
Hey, you got your rollerblading movie and my movie about Cincinnati. Hey, you got my movie it's about Cincinnati and my rollerblading movie. Finally, 2 great movies that have come together. We saw Airborne, so you know what that means.
Schwarzenegger grow a baby in his belly, rock a rhinestone vest while whipping Justin to Kelly, or maybe see a burlesque show with Nick Crow and take a boat with speed to hitting cruise control. J-Man, Big Paul in the beautiful June, gonna take you from the goob all the way to the room. Ran the games of Street Fighter, helped to blow off steam, just a sucker punch the odd life of Timothy Green. Sharknado to Birdemic, how we staying alive. They call it in the badass and he's on the line, cranking 88 minutes cause they cool as ice, cause a bad Jim Varney looking kind and nice. Paul and June getting literal, Jason is getting laid. June is making sure all the monkey shots getting paid. They judge a bunch of movies while they're making the grade. Here's a real question for you, how did this get made?
Hello, people of Earth! And hello, people of Largo! We are live here in Los Angeles to talk about one of the most important rollerblading films of our time. Before we go any further, I want to tell you that tonight is a How Did This Get Made all-star show, which means that
our regular co-hosts, Jason Mantzoukas and June Diane Rayfield, will not be here tonight, but instead, I know, but instead, they'll be replaced by How Did This Get Made All-Stars, hence the title, How Did This Get Made All-Stars. These are all people you've heard on the show. They're coming back. And let's start with the introductions right here. You know our first guest co-host from her show, Bitch Sesh. She was on the episode Geely, and she's written for Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Please welcome Danielle Schneider. Have a seat down there. Welcome, Danielle.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So excited to have you because rollerblading is an important part of your life.
Yes, always. I didn't know this was a rollerblading movie. I was confused because there was also a surfing movie.
Yes.
And also a hockey movie.
Yes. That is my core problem with this movie.
So that was a trick of the mind, and I'm still navigating that today.
We are going to talk all about that. Also joining us tonight, our second guest co-host. This man we have put through hell. We have made him watch Sharknado 1, Sharknado 2, Sharknado 3, and also Speed 2. He is the host of the awesome Comedy Bang Bang show on Earwolf. He has a brand new special coming up on Valentine's Day on Netflix called The Michael Bolton's Big Sexy Valentine's Day Special. Premieres February 7th. Please welcome Scott Aukerman.
What's up, jerks?
Welcome, Scott.
I was trying to play entrance music.
I would have liked that. We'll put it in post. Very excited to have you back for your first non-sequel.
Oh my God, I was so happy until I saw the film.
I can't believe this movie has missed me. Did you see this movie before?
I had never even heard about it.
Okay.
I'd heard about the fact that diseases are transmitted this way.
I thought it was going to be a movie adaptation of The Great Thing That You Take Before Airplane Travel.
I thought it was about a dog who plays basketball.
There's nothing in the rule book. Nothing in the rule book.
Our next guest co-host, you know him from, only one episode. That's surprising to me. I thought he'd been on before this. He was in the Leprechaun in the Hood episode. You can see him on Silicon Valley. He has a brand new movie premiering at Sundance called The Big Sick. He's also in the upcoming movie Fist Fight. Please welcome Kumail Nanjiani!
Can I say I also thought this was the dog basketball movie? And it is the saddest I've been since the election.
At what point did you figure out it wasn't? Did you keep expecting a dog to come in dribbling a basketball?
Well, there is a dog in the first 5 minutes.
Yes.
And the kid calls it, hey, dog. He calls it dog twice.
Well, did you think that when the parents went away on their vacation that he would go away, the parents would go away, and the dog would be like, well, shit, I'll play basketball?
I thought the movie was going to be, the parents leave, the kids with the dog, and then they're like, we're short one on the basketball team.
There's so much to talk about in this movie, but this one thing I think just stands out, and it's visual, but I always say that there are certain signs that you know you're watching a bad movie, and one of them is the movie is under 90 minutes. This comes in at like a nice 83. But it's not bad. I don't know if it's bad.
I will tell you it is the longest 83 minutes.
Oh, you feel it. I would argue that that's probably because there's no real plot.
No.
Like that's pushing it forward.
It has the plot of maybe one Saved by the Bell episode.
Yeah. I promise you, it was like morning when I started, and when I was done, it was dark out. It warped time and space.
I would argue that it was like
hearing the plot of one Saved by the Bell episode as told by someone who doesn't remember the episode of Saved by the Bell.
So I think they're surfer. Oh no, they're rollerbladers.
Yeah.
They're rollerbladers.
And hockey.
And who the bad guy is still up in the air for me.
Multiple bad guys, multiple good guys, multiple sports.
Girls who are featured hugely for the first 10 minutes and then go away.
I wanted to see more of those girls. But this is the thing that I always point to. Like, I love a good production logo that appears and you've never seen it before. And this production logo takes the cake. I'm going to narrate it as it goes forward. But check this out. It's like fire collides. The name appears. Then all of a sudden an elf with a sword comes up. The sword goes gleaming. And it's Icon Productions, but I just thought it was like a pretty, I don't know why the elf felt to me
slightly like overkill.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the movie is, because the movie is like 4 things at the same time, and so is this logo. The fire has nothing to do with the elf, has nothing to do with the word icon.
Yeah, it doesn't, it feels
you know, as iconic as an elf on fire.
We need people to understand that Icon Pictures can be anything. It can be elves with swords and fire.
And it has nothing to do with the film you're about to see.
No, well, not at all. I mean, you know.
Well, they didn't make it thinking they would get to make one movie. They were like, this is the first one, but...
This, arguably, I think, is one of the most aggressive 90s movies I've ever seen. I mean,
yes, it was filled with just the guitar licks alone were so like Beverly Hills 902. They literally said to the guy who did Beverly Hills 902, they're like, we love you. We love your music. Please score our movie.
Point of order, I have to say, the music is done by Stuart Copeland, drummer of The Police.
Yes, you are right.
Oh, the other pretty big name associate. This is directed by a guy who directed a ton of X-Files episodes, including the X-Files movie.
Yes, he also directed the Elektra film, the sequel to Daredevil.
The electrifying film what?
But he's like a good, like he was, I like Rob Bowman.
Well, he directed the first X-Files episode, his first X-Files, the same year this movie came out, so.
I have to say, this is directed well.
It's well directed.
I think it's,
I do.
I know, I agree. Like, that's the thing about this movie.
He had to direct 4 different movies. He directed them all beautifully.
And get them under 90 minutes.
I would argue,
And, yes.
It looks,
It looks expensive, I think.
It was. It feels. They did underwater shots.
It was.
What was the budget?
Budget was $2.6 million.
And it made, let me guess.
Oh, God.
Did you say 3 point? I'll say 3.4.
2.8.
Nah!
It just came in. It made some money. It just
made some money.
It
made $4 on Amazon from me today.
It was. I think it's funny that like. First of all, it was hard to find this movie.
Yes, it was very hard.
I couldn't find it using my Xbox. I had to go to my computer.
Yeah,
oh, really?
Buy it and have it tell my Xbox that he actually wants to see this movie.
That's the Xbox looking out for its players. It's like, really?
Yeah, Xbox
Why?
was cock blocking me from this movie.
The beginning shots of the 2 guys having the guy and his best friend, I thought the entire movie was going to be about them, right, and their romance.
Well, they have such a great final scene together where they're singing California Girls, and then the lead goes, ha 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 ha, I love that song.
But my whole thing is, you open a movie with these 2 dudes like beautifully rollerblading down the hills of like Santa
By the way,
Monica.
Paul was imitating someone rollerblading.
Yeah, just like,
and he kind of did this.
Just arms out.
You sort of look like one of the Supremes a little bit. You were just.
The arms are out. Team Rollerblade is in full effect.
Team Rollerblade, by the way, did the stunts.
Yeah, as you see,
it is. You could tell when it was the actors and when it was stunt people.
Yeah.
Because the first jump that they do in the movie is so unimpressive. And then they're jumping over cars.
And they keep a jump in where the guy falls down.
Yeah, it's
it's great.
By the way, apparently the actor of the film was a real rollerblader, and that's why he got the job, because he took the director to all the cool rollerblading spots in New York. And that's
Guess what?
sealed the deal.
You can tell he's a rollerblader and not an actor.
It was the least likable protagonist I've seen in a movie in a very long time.
With the most amount of teeth.
Excuse me?
He and the girl in the movie had all the teeth of all the world.
Yeah. They did take all the teeth in the 90s.
Well, to me, it's like, also, he's a cool California dude coming to Cincinnati, whatever.
Again, Paul is doing,
I'm doing my
he's
Supreme
sort of
fan.
waves at this point.
Always finding the waves. But he has the most unappealing name. His name's like Mitchell Goosen. Come
and
on.
they tell you the name a bunch of times like they're super proud of it. There's going to be an iconic name. He's a real Mitchell Goosen type.
Mitchell Goosen is not a cool name. I don't feel like, oh, what did Mitchell Goosen say about this?
When he meets the girl, they're meet cute. When they're like, and he says his full name, it's like the vibe is so scary. It's like, what's he gonna do to her?
I feel like the reason why that scene was so uncomfortable was because it was clearly his audition scene, because it's like a big monologue about like Gandhi. I did the hands again, but like about Gandhi and not fighting for things. Like his eyes were like, I got this part. I got it all down. Like he really stared at her. In a
He also he has some long, like he does a big monologue when he's mind surfing. You remember that, when he puts like his surfboard on the bed and stands on it and like speaks a lot.
He aggressively brings his surfboard to Cincinnati.
He calls it his stick. He says, I don't go anywhere without my stick.
Which would lead you to believe it's a surfing movie.
Yes.
I was impressed that they gave it to him on the tarmac.
Me too. I have never been handed anything on the tarmac.
Well, it was pre 9/11, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Simpler time.
That is made clear throughout the movie.
It's also in the opening, they're rollerblading to go surfing.
Yes.
But they don't have their sticks with them.
No.
What, do they keep the sticks at the beach?
I think they checked the sticks in at the beach.
The movie seems like it was, the whole idea of it was, you know how when surfers, they drive to go surfing? What if they rollerbladed?
Well, I feel like it was like, you know, we're pitching this movie, so it'll be what the kids do, you know, whatever. Rollerblading, surfing, hockey, whatever it is. And then we see him, and then we go to Cincinnati, and then, you know, whatever. He gets in the rollerblading, surfing competition, whatever. And they never decided what it was. They were like, all of them. Yeah. They'll do it all.
They'll do it all.
I
And
thought it was going to be a hockey movie.
Me
Like
too.
when it locked into hockey, I was like, all right, we're in.
Yeah.
Hockey movie, let's go.
Also,
One scene.
my problem with the hockey was that it didn't seem to be school-sanctioned hockey.
No, who are the villains? Who is the other team?
The preppies. We know they're the preppies.
But the hockey game, the first hockey game was in some ragtag hockey room. And the second hockey game for
On
the
the
playoff
street.
was on the street with
And-
no
and with
skating.
rollerblades.
Yes, so it
But
made
that was my biggest problem, right? So you would think, if you're writing this movie, you go, all right, well, maybe the thing that he brings to the table is rollerblades.
Yes.
But no, they're all fucking great rollerbladers, too. Everyone in this town knows how to rollerblade really good and ice hockey.
That's a very good point. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, I was like, that would be like what he's adding to the mix. He adds nothing to the mix.
He adds nothing to the mix. He adds nothing to the mix. He has nothing to learn in this movie. He shows up fully centered and talking about his fucking non-violence or whatever. And then he ends the same way. His whole struggle in the movie is to not like get into a fight with someone.
Which
and
is
he,
odd because...
And he doesn't.
And to ride out 6 months.
The stakes could not be lower.
Basically, and the reason why he's hated by the bullies, first of all, is just because he's from California. So that's like the
Also,
first
as an insult, they call him pretty boy. I'm like, that's not an insult.
Yeah.
Have you ever been called that in your life?
If I would love it. I would love it. Hey, pretty boy. Oh, thank you.
Well, hello.
Thank you so much. But then the reason why he gets really hated by the school is because they oddly draft him out of the crowd to play on their hockey team, and then is mad when he sucks.
He doesn't own goal. He goals the wrong goal.
But they called it. It wasn't like he goes, "Hey guys, I can play hockey. Put me in." No, he's like in the stands not even really there to enjoy. He's not even enjoying.
And they sort of want him to do it as a punishment to him. So why are they so mad?
Yeah, they want to win, but they also want to embarrass this kid, so they put him on their own team. It makes no sense.
Put him on the other team and score a goal
And
against
also,
him.
he did score a goal, even though it was for the wrong team. He did show prowess on the court. Why not use his abilities?
His first hit
Point him in the right direction.
Was solid.
I know. I was like, why not? Yeah, why not say, okay, we've got something here.
It's a very minor adjustment we need to make. Turn around.
180 degrees.
Yeah. And by the way, I was a little bit confused though too, because it seems like you'd have to be a real moron to not understand how hockey works. Like, it's not like, what is this sport? Like, you know, it's like...
I will say, though, that his team no one had the same shirt on. So he couldn't tell who was on his team.
Why did he wear a different outfit?
I guess they were ragtag.
Okay.
But yet but yet there is a real scoreboard. But it's weird because it is also like they're playing, it seems like, outside of school, like not school sanctioned, and then later on, then they have a less school sanctioned, like rollerblading version of hockey. Like,
and and more people come to that than the school sanctioned one. And then I was just watching, like, imagining the whole game stopping down for a half hour while he got dressed. Like, what were they doing?
How did he just show up? Like,
it just is like a hard cut to him in the outfit, like, oh, this is comedy. But I just was thinking, like, that's like a half hour to get
you
that
gotta
on.
get in. If someone's gonna now, by the way, don't be mistaken. This movie, hockey is not a major part of this movie.
Yeah, we shouldn't even be bringing it up.
No, sorry.
You could argue the third act has nothing to do with hockey. The biggest challenge of the movie, hockey is not present at all.
It is a movie that, to your point, it does keep you guessing. It starts off, you're like, his parents are like, we're going to Australia. I was like, oh, great. It's a movie about an American kid who has to make it in Australia.
Yep.
And then they're like, no, we're leaving. I'm like, okay, great. It's an American kid who gets the house to himself in California. They're like, no, you're going to Ohio. Okay, great. He goes to Ohio and then learns hockey. No, it's rollerblading.
And like they make a big deal of getting his surfboard off the plane. Like, it should be like his rollerblading skates, right? Like, I mean,
Well, he says at one point, like, something I should have remembered. Yeah, dipshit, you're going to fucking Cincinnati.
And I will argue, the movie is called Airborne, and I don't want to really call too much attention to it, but airborning doesn't really happen until, I would argue, the last frames of the movie. Like,
yeah.
It's one airborne.
A solid third of this movie is a race at the end.
It really should be called Earthbound.
Yeah.
Here.
Or fuck this kid. He sucks.
I
looked him up. He's a realtor in Texas now, and I'm like, the universe has some justice.
Well, by the way,
I did too. I looked him up too. Immediately, I was like, what is this guy?
It's not his fault.
By the way,
he wasn't made for this.
He doesn't like. Yeah, he did some soap operas, became a realtor in Texas, and now he also makes art, which you can buy on his website. And this is some of his recent work on his website, which it's a very I wouldn't even know how to describe that from an art point of view, but it's it's all right. It's all right.
It's good.
Nothing bad to say about it. Way to go, Mitchell.
Mitchell Goosen.
He's got to be listening.
Yeah, of course.
He has a Google alert for Airborne.
I have a question.
Hey, how's it going?
I have a question on something I've never seen before in a movie where, like, the movie is from his point of view, right?
POV.
Yeah, POV, of course. But in the first, like, once he gets to Cincinnati, you see a fantasy sequence from a character we've never seen's point of view.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, where he's, like, shirtless and...
Yeah.
Well, before that, he's just sitting there, and the bully looks at him and imagines throwing him through the window.
That's right. I thought that was real, and I was like, oh, shit, this movie just got amazing.
This movie just got airborne!
Yeah! They threw him out of a fucking window, and I was like, ooh.
But then it turns out to be a dream sequence from someone we have not met.
It's also a testament to the movie that we've been talking about it for a half hour and have not mentioned that Seth Green and Jack Black are in it.
Yeah. There is Jack Black working. Like you can see why Jack Black popped. I mean, from
I
this
don't
movie.
think any of his lines were in the script.
He couldn't have.
He's making shit up. It's
I-
great.
I like young Jack Black. in
I
this
think
movie.
Seth Green is great in it too.
I think. Look, I feel like you watch those guys. Like you guys are fucking working. They were like, what can I do? Like, what? Like, give me. I'm trying.
I'll be in the shot. Oh yeah, you want me in the shot? I'll be in the shot. Yeah.
I'll improvise this too.
I will say the other bully, Jack Black's friend, was 35,
Yeah.
40.
Yeah, he's got a receding hairline.
Yeah, he was an older man.
Yeah.
He's complaining about his hemorrhoids.
It was strange to see him surrounded by children.
There are weird things that these kids say. I did.
Oh yeah, I wrote down some stuff.
Okay,
they
yeah,
say.
I have this. This basically. This is. At one point, they have to like introduce themselves in speech class.
Yes, this was.
And there's
You know
one
they
in
couldn't
particular
wait.
that I really want to talk of, but it may just be worth watching some of these speech class things. It's pretty great.
I don't like speech. Never even signed up for it. And I ain't got no hobby. Just you call collecting knives and putting tattoos across the foreheads of guys I don't like. Hobby.
The first one certainly is a hobby.
Yeah. Really
Collecting
battling.
knives? Yeah.
And by the way, you would argue, is that the villain of the movie?
No, it's just a stereotype.
Yeah.
No. All of the villains have vaguely Hispanic names, including Jack Black.
What's Jack Black's name?
It's like he's like Javier or something, or maybe I'm the racist. Uh-oh.
Augie is his name.
No, but that's his nickname.
Oh, okay. Got
He
it.
introduces himself as like a Hispanic.
Oh, he
name.
has a long name. That's right. He has a long name.
But she gives one of my favorite speeches. I'd like to say who she finds hot. It's very timely.
Oh yeah, here we go. This is the next one right here. Coming out of Snake.
I love her.
One of Al Pacino's love slaves.
Now, if you didn't hear that, because I rewound it when I watched it, I want to be Al Pacino's love slave.
Al Pacino's what?
Love slave.
Which I guess he was a hottie of the 90s.
I googled. She just had seen Scent of a Woman.
Yeah, he had just done Scent of a Woman,
Yeah.
where he plays a blind man.
A blind veteran of Vietnam.
Yeah. Nobody watched that and was like, he should be my sex master.
I'm a 15-year-old girl, and I would really love to be boned out by blind Al Pacino. Like, he's clearly like he's in his 50s at that point.
Yeah,
right?
I
He
had
has
to,
to be.
I had to rewind too. I was like, did she just say old man Pacino as her love
Al
slave?
Pacino's love slave.
Makes me think that maybe the script was sitting like on the back burner for a long time. Oh, but then why would it be about
Rollerblading? It could have been roller skating.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so
everything-
90s.
Everything is 90s, but we don't have to do Mitchell Goosen
I mean,
because.
I don't know. Maybe we do.
All right, let's go into it. Yeah, why not? These are all pretty great. So here we go. All right,
Look at his.
here we go.
Mitchell Goosen at your service. I'm not from around here. What's your tell? Well, I don't have any stories. Don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Don't care. Just as long as I live near the beach and don't have to wear a tie. Then I'll be styling.
Styling? What?
Is having to wear a tie a big problem for 15-year-olds?
By the way, he angers people so like.
He angers me.
I get it.
I fucking hate him.
I get it.
I side with the bullies. in
Yeah,
this.
when the guy goes, I found myself I had already done that gesture. I was like, oh, he's doing it too.
I guess we're supposed to hate Mitchell Goosen. We are Cleveland in this movie. The audience is Cleveland.
The way he like does his hair when he like gets
One
up there.
finger through the side of it. Oh man,
He's wearing like a serape around a hoodie.
But with like a Baja under it. Like the customer's like, we really need people to know that he's a surfer.
By the way, also, wouldn't you again? He doesn't even bring anything to them. Like you don't like at the end like the bullies don't go like, oh, we should meditate or we should like
Or we
learn
should
from
wear
God.
this kind of thing.
Yeah, like, he
no.
doesn't give. He doesn't depart. He doesn't give them anything. It's not like
Nobody learns anything
No
in
one.
this movie. At one point I wrote down, he says, make waves, not war. He should have been shot.
And by the way, you're not making waves
You're
when
not.
you're surfing.
Yeah, you're not the moon. Good one, right? I nailed him.
Bro.
Also in this scene, everyone's being terrible to each other, and the teacher just sits there.
The teacher needs to get control of his classroom.
The teacher is younger than the 35-year-old bully.
And guess what, people? The teacher is the writer of the movie.
Sometimes the world just makes sense.
Just like writing in this movie, he just sat back and let his characters just go off on a journey.
I also, at one point, he says, he's getting into a fight with the bully, and he says, I could give 2 left testicles about, and then something, and it was, are you like volunteering someone else's testicle along with yours?
There's kind of a rule when you're filming something. If an actor doesn't understand a line, change the line. You don't need to make them say it. And this is filled with lines like that. I don't give 2 left testicles that he has no connection to. His eyes are blank. By the way, he's listening right now.
It's not. We thought your art was very good.
We liked your art.
We liked
I
it.
would buy a house from you to hear some. You have great stories. And by the way, kudos to you for not burning out on the biz. You checked out yourself.
You made your waves and moved on.
I'm not sure he checked out himself. I don't think that's how it worked. I don't think he did this movie and was like, all right, that's it. I've made my mark. I think he probably auditioned and people saw this movie.
I want to talk about what Mitchell Goosen does at high school, which is a lot of shit that I would never do. Like, first of all, he takes a shit.
Yes!
I noticed that.
He's taking a long time with that shit.
Yeah.
He takes out a magazine for that shit. He's not like scrambling in there trying to get it done as quickly as possible, running out. That's what I was doing.
Also, another thing he did, I've never seen a romantic lead of a high school movie take a shit, and I was shocked. Shocked.
And walk around with like a sweaty, gross ass.
To me, I literally was like, I'm no longer attracted to this child.
I would argue that the follow-up scene is worse because they wet all the toilet paper part of
What
their
did they do?
They wet
all the
toilet paper, but what? Wouldn't you rather use wet toilet paper on your ass, which is sort of like having a Japanese toilet in a way,
100%,
than just leaving the shit in your butthole?
Wait.
Yeah.
Is the implication that he leaves the shit in his butthole?
Yes.
Because he's walking around
yeah.
Because of the shit in his butthole?
Yes.
Like he stuffs the shit back up in his butthole.
I would argue though.
He didn't stuff the shit back in it.
He
didn't
scoops into the toilet, puts it back.
Like, if I can't wipe, I gotta save this for later.
I have to do this later.
I would argue that even more disgusting than him taking a shit was him during the shower sequence leaning against a dirty shower wall.
He is full on shampooing.
But again, who leans against the shower wall?
Of a public school bathroom in which no one else is showering, which made me believe that he just went in there for a shower break. It wasn't like the end of gym because there's no one else there. It's like private shower time, man.
I was gagging with the thought of his back against a dirty wall. Like, it made me so sick I had to fast
Were you
forward.
gagging more there or when you saw this? Because this actually upset me when Seth Green took a shower, and on his wall was just like it looks like vomit, like a vomit.
What is that?
Well, thank you to Avril Halley, our amazing video researcher. We have been looking at this, and she and I were emailing back and forth. And she's like, I tried to figure it out. I zoomed in on it. I went all back. This morning she emailed me. She goes, I figured it out. Does anyone think they know what's on that wall? Oh, what is it? Well, no, not what is the product. You see something written in there. But it's the name of the girl that he was on a blind date
This is
with.
okay. So many issues. First of all, baseline creepy. Beyond that, if you're in a movie, don't use product that's the same color as the wall.
Yeah.
There should be contrast. Just use shaving cream. That'll be white. No, we gotta get a green thing.
A green body fall. I don't even know what that is. It looks like to me like, I don't know, like a snot wall or something. It's not like...
I had a totally different image. I thought that this family was in trouble. And that this house was decrepit. And that grime and grease and no one is clean. I was worried. And I literally was like, this family's in trouble.
My problem is who masturbates to a girl's name? Like,
If you
Gloria! Wow.
That's what I was doing before I had access to porn. I would just write down the name of the girl. I would just write down Cindy Crawford and read it while masturbating.
Well, that scene is in front of, I think, my favorite scene of the whole movie, which is the clothing montage scene.
Oh, God.
And, you know, all movies in the 90s had this thing where they tried on different outfits, but I feel like this may be the first time you saw a dude do it. I don't feel like dudes did.
And it was a solid 25-minute long scene.
I have each one of the outfits we can kind of look at. You know, first one obviously was. First one, my question was, he has all these outfits?
Yes.
There's a lot of styles that he has in his.
He's got a lot of looks.
So he got the motorcycle look.
Clearly, they were like, "Oh, Seth Green's a star. Let's give him a showcase here."
But can I say that Gooseman he was thrilled. He was laughing.
He loved it. He was laughing his ass off.
He was tickled as I've never seen.
This movie, they like people laughing. I mean, when a joke gets told at the hockey rink too, they're all like, it's like a pan of just laughers, like ha 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 ha. He pulled down his pants. Ha 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 ha. I've never seen people laugh that much at a pants pull down.
I once got a note on a script that said, we don't need the people in the movie laughing. We need the audience laughing. And I don't think that these people took that note.
That is a great note. They were trying to trick us.
I'm trying to look like.
Why does he have all this stuff?
Yeah, it's a lot of, you know, he's just going through all the looks.
It was very Sex in the City, this whole sequence.
This one.
This is the one, though.
I have a question about this whole montage.
Yes.
Are we is he trying to make Goosen laugh, or are these to him viable options? Because he's goofing around, but also he's disappointed at some point that his friend is laughing at him.
Well,
it slightly seems like he's trying to make him horny with this one.
It is an odd thing, and I will go back to this. I really like Seth Green in this movie. I really like Jack Black in this movie. But my issue with Seth Green's character is I don't know how he is weird. He seems multiply weird. Like, it's not like, oh, he's blank. It just seems like
he is weird in many different.
Yes.
Again, this is the whole movie.
Yeah.
It's like 4 sports. He's 5 different. Because when
you wouldn't be like, oh, he's just a nerd.
No.
He's just a thing. He's not.
Because that's a Megadeth like banner there.
I wrote down some of the things in his room. It was like Eraserhead, Kiss, then just random skulls, then jack-o'-lanterns, and then Megadeth, and then ACD. Like it's all over the place.
Yeah, I too was looking around his room for clues as to who he was, and I couldn't make heads or tails.
When he first shows up and he turns the light on, it's all weird red.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be like, what a dweebazoid. But I was like, that room's awesome.
I liked his room. That's what I'm saying. I didn't understand where he's supposed to be, and in this sequence where he's wearing the mesh top and the pants, I think this guy could be the guy. Was it the Butcher Bill from Silence of the Lambs? Whatever that guy's name is.
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he. I mean, but then I'm like, is he trying to seduce Mitchell Goosen?
Fuck me.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It puts the wax on the rollerblades.
And he's got sort of Pippi Longstocking hair here.
I will say that
And then he managed to choose was quite normal. The outfit that he went out with was nothing.
And it wasn't like he dressed. I mean, I guess he wore a beret when we first meet him.
Yeah, no, when you first meet him, he's a fucking idiot. He's a monster. Like, he's dressed like an idiot.
And that's the problem, though, with 90s movies.
I mean, fucking live your bliss, whatever. But the movie's trying to tell us something.
But then when you watch a 90s movie, that's the problem, because he's supposed to be like an idiot in the 90s. But when you look at the 90s movies, everyone's kind of dressed like idiots. And you're like, oh, I don't know where the base is, because the cool guy looks pretty... that guy's wearing a fucking poncho over a hoodie, and he's the cool one.
And he's like this all the... This is not a podcast. But he really is smiling the entire movie. You can't find a still frame where the kid's not smiling.
Well, he says, like, he also, like...
He didn't stop smiling till he saw the box office receipts.
Kumail.
Anyway, you can edit. You can
Come
edit.
on, Kumail.
I'm so sorry. You can edit that.
I mean, this is a mean podcast, but that's too far.
This was. I know this is the name of the podcast, but I was watching it truly like, how did this get made?
I was like, how did this get made?
I feel like it was made. I feel like this is what it was. Someone found out that there was a tax break in Cincinnati, and they're like, if you can write a script in 4 days, we can shoot this.
And you can be in it.
Yeah, and he's like, what?
You can be the teacher.
Okay. Control, Apple, set S. Let's do it. We've done it. Like, I feel like it definitely just reeks of like, we can go right now. We could shoot a $5 million movie for $2 million. Let's go make it. And they're not wrong. They made a movie.
It was like Footloose, but not.
Because nothing's illegal.
Yeah, but it seemed like being a cool dude was illegal in Cincinnati, like mentally. But there was also the sort of Footloose aspect of like the boyfriend's girlfriend, who he is still dating, is coming on to the lead, which seemed to be
that's his
ex-girlfriend.
Oh, ex. Oh.
But
There's
then-
so many characters.
Wait, I thought
I
that was his
understand your
sister.
confusion.
No,
Oh,
there
wait,
was
in the-
two.
Oh.
So the first girls
Oh, right.
in the movie, they were the girlfriends of the 45-year-old bully.
And have no bearing on the plot.
Yes. Oh, never
But they were
reappear.
introduced in a major way where you're like, oh, that's the female lead.
And they don't even show up to the end race.
No.
No.
Which is kind of rude as a girlfriend.
But then the other girl, we find out that the prep, did we ever find out his name?
Wait, do you mean there's
Maid?
two bully ringleaders?
Yes. There's the prep ringleader, whose ex-girlfriend, then is the one that he dates.
There's the prep ringleader and the slightly less prep ringleader.
I know what you mean. There's the prep ringleader who has hair similar to our hero.
Yes.
He's the most prep.
Yes.
Right.
And then there's the second in command.
Yes, the second in command, who ends up like with Seth Green at the end in the race.
His ex-girlfriend is the main guy's girlfriend and the sister of the bully.
Yes.
There are 5 people in this town.
Which, by the way, can we talk about her? So I looked her up.
Yeah. I don't know it. No, I don't know.
Do you know? Okay, so the main ingenue.
Yes.
Her. Do you know who her romantic partner is currently?
No, I don't know any of this. Oh, wow. Nate Kiley did not give me this information.
Vern Troyer, Mini-Me.
Yes! 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 I want to high-five everyone in the world!
My God!
Are you fucking me right now?
That is amazing.
Are you serious?
Are you fucking me?
They went on Celebrity Wife Swap together.
What?
Oh my God.
I am going to torrent the shit out of Celebrity Wife Swap. Vern Troyer
I'm tearing up and I can't explain why.
Vern Troyer has won.
She wasn't Xena Warrior Princess.
She has a something called on YouTube comedy reel, which is I thought it was going to be stand-up comedy. It's just like scenes from 2.5 Men where the men are being funny and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Welcome to my world.
Welcome to this show.
I don't think we can get past this. See? Scott almost fell off his chair.
And I knew it.
Yeah,
I'm the one who
and
told
5
you.
minutes after the revelation. I think we've hit a speed bump and
I'm wondering how they met. Like, was it through Seth Green because he's in Austin Powers?
what? Goodness. Holy fuck, dude.
That's it.
Wait,
That's
so you're
definitely
hypothesizing that Seth Green is still hanging out with her at all times? That's Brittany Powell. I just want to see if there's a picture of the two of them.
Yeah.
Of course.
There you go,
Comes
yeah.
right up.
There you go. We got a
Please
picture.
don't laugh, guys. It won't be nice.
All right.
It won't be nice.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be, you guys. Won't be nice if you.
You're not nice people if you laugh.
So there they are. There they are. There they are together again.
Can we see every picture of them? She looks surprised. Who's that, Tom Green?
No, it's her son. It looks like her son.
They have a kid?
No,
that's their
no.
son. Oh, that's a Vine celebrity.
Oh, really?
That guy.
All right, let's see. Yeah, I mean, this is true. This is real.
It's true. It is true.
And then she has to celebrity wife swap with Gary Busey, you guys.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
The whole show has come to a stop as Paul just reads articles verifying this fact.
She's a Playboy bunny.
She was in before this movie was filmed. She was in like one of the video things.
But he said like he had to convince her to be on it because she's never been on national TV before. It's not like she's just like a layperson. She's been in movies.
She was in 2.5 Men and stuff like in her comedy reel. What is she talking about?
I don't know. Wow, this is interesting. Well,
Starred in the series Safety Geeks.
Yeah, she was
I hope everyone who's listening is also going online and enjoying this.
Look up Brittany Powell.
Oh, yeah, here's one. Vern Troyer falls and hits his head at Miami nightclub. No.
I wonder if this is written from her.
She wrote an article. It's called "My Life with 2 foot 8 inch sex obsessed mini me Vern Troyer."
Oh no.
She should not be calling him mini me. That's her
you can't.
boyfriend.
You can't. Oh, I guess things didn't work out for them. I was gonna say about her, I really liked her, and I really liked these two other girls in the movie because I actually felt like watching this movie. I was like, oh, that's what the girls in my high school looked like. They were like nice, like they weren't like I feel.
Oh
like
yeah,
now,
they were like gorgeous Playboy looking.
Yeah, like I feel like now it's
who would grow up to date a 2 foot 8 inch sex obsessed mini me. That's what girls in your high school look like.
Yeah, where did you go to high school? Cincinnati.
By the way, there is a lot of Cincinnati love for this movie. It's like there was just an article written about it for the 20-year anniversary. And
What?
They celebrated the 20-year anniversary of this movie.
Well, it must have been 2013 because this movie's from '93.
Yeah, so it's 2013. There was a big thing about 20-year anniversary rollerblading.
When you say big thing,
like they shut down all of Cincinnati to kind of
all of Cincinnati,
all of it, all 4 shops.
Well, listen, the movie sucks. Let's not take shots at Cincinnati.
No shots at Cincinnati. I believe that Cincinnati is very proud. I have no facts to back that up, but I believe they're very, very proud.
That's so sad.
When they do, that was the one thing too. When he shows up. Well, there's so many things. When you first see him rollerblading around Cincinnati, and he pulls out those rollerblades, he creates a Creed-esque kind of flash mob of everyone on roller skates. Like everyone has been secretly like having these roller skates and be like, oh wow, this guy brought out his blades. I guess everyone, like whatever that.
He's been there, by the way, for 3 months at this point.
Yeah.
He obviously knows where all of these rollerbladers are, and he's never gone to visit them or said, hey, by the way, I have a pair at home, I should get those shipped to me or whatever. He goes right to them. He knows exactly where they are.
They have skate parks there.
And he didn't seem to be, was he that much better than anybody else?
When someone says, man, he's fast, that's the only...
The thing I was most impressed with is that he kept on running downstairs. Like,
well, yeah.
I was like, I never seen rollerbladers like traverse staircases. Like I didn't know that was a part of rollerblading.
Emily was there for like 10 minutes while I was watching it, and she was like, she got genuinely sad. She was like, some stunt person risked his life for this movie. She was like, that bums me out. Because that is tough.
Yeah, that was but that was pretty amazing in the film. Just effortlessly, and they did a lot of stair work, a lot of like, it was. Yeah.
He seemed to be sort of a Pied Piper of wheels during that scene where anyone
he attracts wheels to him?
People on wheels, like any sort of like there were kids sort of following his his happiness.
Cars suddenly came by him.
Well,
and I think part of the thing like that you like
pizza rollers.
Yes.
one of the things that you like about like Rocky and Creed,
Like
is
lip
that
rollers. Those painting brushes that are circular for whatever reason.
that helps you get paid quicker. Like in Rocky and Creed, they run every day, and people are, and then you would imagine, like, after like 3 or 4 months of running every day, the town is like, oh wow, they fucking run. I'm gonna run every day, and then like gets bigger and bigger and bigger. This is like the first day with really in the first hour he puts on the blades, everyone's immediately attracted
Like they've
to him.
been waiting for years for someone with rollerblades to show up.
Even though it's a town where the rollerblading scene is quite active.
It is vibrant.
Like, so he's not doing anything that not everyone else is doing, and which brings me to that point that even the hockey team has a rollerblading league that they are great in.
They're great in.
And then he comes, and he's just like a little bit better than them.
But if that, not. No.
He jumps over a couple things, I feel like.
They all...
Don't
defend this movie, Paul.
My favorite part, though, of that rollerblading hockey scene was when he is being chased by the prep. Like, conveniently, there's like a bunch of plywood, like, over like a swampy area.
Yeah.
So you can just like, and like slide out.
Yeah, you know the location scout scouted it when it was warm and dry. They showed up to the day, it was muddy.
Yeah, they're like,
how the fuck are we gonna film this scene? Go get me 5 boards.
Just random plywood, and it was like it's an above shot, so you're just looking down at just like weird plywood planks that like clearly provide the most convenient escape path. But yet the other people, they're like, ah, shit, he's on the plywood. I can't get him.
Who is the bad guy?
I think it's, in the end, it's the prep who was a little bit date rapey at some point.
Oh yeah, he grabs the girl.
Yeah,
He does
and
that weird thing I've
dancing.
never seen where he's like, come here, let's dance, and forces
So,
a woman to dance
Last
with
Dance of Mary Jane
Yeah.
type of.
And it's like you're in like a Denny's.
Yeah.
By the way,
so
that
all of a sudden the
restaurant-
movie got real creepy. Like
that
before it
that
was,
restaurant, she says, hey, I know a really great restaurant. Good food, lots of people. Lots of people? Like, I've never heard that be a criteria for a good restaurant. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
sure,
yeah,
it's
the
good,
Yelp
but how
reviews.
crowded is it?
Yeah, how many people are at this restaurant?
Don't take me to one of those empty restaurants. I want to socialize and potentially bump into my brother and ex-boyfriend.
And then they sit down and she looks around and goes, see what I tell you. They haven't eaten yet. She's merely talking about the number of people.
But did you see they did have a Cincinnati delicacy, strawberry jelly and peanut butter on a burger.
Is that a Cincinnati
That is
thing?
a Cincinnati treat that was originated at this restaurant. I think it's, oh no, that's strawberry.
Please, sir, I beg of you, please stop.
Ex-Gordos.
Could you just delete it so that doesn't happen?
What just popped up was Seth Green in the shower with the goo on the wall. Oh man. But I would argue that.
Oh, it has I'm Too Sexy in it.
The one recognizable song. There are no recognizable hits other than I'm
they
Too
really
Sexy.
wanted it to pop.
But they have like a good, like I wrote down a lyric of one of the songs like when they're having their romance, like I'm gonna pick you up in my personal limousine.
Personal limousine?
He's a limo driver.
Who's sharing limos out there?
I have to say, in the 90s, like, that was a dream. Ooh, he'll have his personal limousine.
His personal, not the public one, not the shared limousine. And then the other line in that song was, "My love is goody love."
There's a lot of weird.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
A running joke in it is also that he calls people bra and they think he's calling them underwear.
Oh yeah.
It's very similar to bro. Put it together.
He's ahead of his time. He's ahead of his time. I would argue, by the way, too, if we're talking about who the hero of the movie is, it might be Snake. Because Snake is the best rollerblader. We know that. Snake has no problem in Devil's Backbone.
Which, by the way, why doesn't he list that in his hobbies? Rollerblading is a pretty big one.
Yeah, he never takes out that knife, and I've never seen him tattoo anyone. And he seems very social.
No, they...
By the way, Devil's Backbone is not like you think, oh, that's the back of a mountain. It's all
of Cincinnati.
The streets.
The entirety of the city limits is Devil's Backbone.
And
makes no sense.
They
It
say
does take
about
a-
the race, the only rules are there are no rules. And I was, so then how do you know who's won?
Because, well, she follows that up immediately by saying first three across the finish line win.
But then, but here is my...
A rule.
Yes.
Arguably,
yes.
a rule.
A very important one.
I also felt that it was just so confusing as to like how they know exactly where to go.
Yeah.
Well, it's Devil's Backbone.
But
well, Mitchell Goosen's never even heard about it
I
until
know,
2
but
minutes.
They've never brought up Devil's Backbone before. I've never
No.
heard it throughout the rest of the movie.
There's
And
no rollerblading races ever established.
They rollerblade right past a stadium. A stadium. That's part of Devil's Backbone.
Oh, Devil's Backbone is from the top of a mountain to a port. Like it ends at a
right
port.
by the fucking water.
And they also say, we're going to settle this thing once and for all. What thing?
Yeah.
That they always beat them at hockey. We're going to settle who's better at hockey by having a rollerblade race.
I want to Google. Yeah, go ahead.
I would argue another rule of the race is once you fall down, you're kind of out because a lot of people would just like boom and they're like out. Why? Just get back up. Like they just seem like they take themselves out way too easily.
Okay, this is gonna sound like bad. Who wins the race? Because I was watching and I thought I was engaged.
Yeah.
But then the race was over and I'm sure I drifted. Did the main good guy win?
Well, Snake came in first.
Snake wins.
Which was a
Snake
shock.
was one of three.
Ooh, it's two teams.
Yes.
First team to have three people across.
You know how they have? Do you know how they have like team races?
Team races
that
yes.
aren't like relay races.
Sure.
You're not handing off a baton. Everyone's just running, but certain people are on one team.
Yes.
We can potentially edit this out for the podcast, but this is it's a 15-minute race.
That none of the actors are there for.
No.
And at one point, Jack Black kind of pretends he's on skates, and they're shooting him from waist up, and he kind of goes like this. And then it cuts to the rear view, and he's like 6'2" and 175 pounds.
This is just so you can refresh your memory for the great action. This is a minute of the highlight reel of the race. Here we go. Mack truck.
Team rollerblade. Engage.
But Mitchell Goosen really does seem like he knows where to go. I would like to see the scene where they show him the map.
Oh, and then go through the